Once again, a very beautiful Wednesday morning, Vooka Amahle. I welcome you once again to what promises to become an exciting episode right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show. It is Wednesday, and you know, when it comes to Wednesday, all we do is we introduce what we call Comedy Wednesdays. What is laugh without laughter? We know that laughter is our best medicine. My name is Mukiti Maimane, and this, once again, it is the Vooka Breakfast Show. Connect with us on each and every social media platforms. We have Vooka Breakfast Show on Facebook, YouTube. That is where we are streaming live. And if you want to connect with us on other social media platforms, it's Instagram, Facebook, and also TikTok On X, we are at Vooka Daily. So, you know that we do not cease to amaze you this morning. We see that the weather is rainy, but raining doesn't mean that we stop what we do on our day-to-day basis. With me here, I have Afri Berry. Right now, I'm just going to ask her, how is she doing in this rainy morning? Because we know people wake up slumpy. It is the morning. We need to get to our energetic start to the day. So, Afri Berry, a very good morning to you. And how are you this morning?
Good morning, Mo. In all honesty, I wish I was still in bed. I won't even lie. Because you see, when we have one of those rainy days, that's when I tend to have my proper sleep, because I have a problem with not sleeping properly. So, you know, once it starts raining, I'm like, oh my gosh, let me just go down. I can sleep for hours and hours on end. But other than that, I hope that you beautiful people are feeling fantastic and also feeling amazing. Besides the cold weather and of course the wet conditions that are out there, I hope you're having a fantastic Wednesday. Don't forget to also like and subscribe on all of our channels. And if you do want to get in touch with us, you can just simply send us a text, VN, or give us a WhatsApp call on 060-493-3226. That's sorry, that's 060-493-3226. What do you have for us today, Mo?
Yeah, man, you know that we always have something, and that is called the picture of the day. This is where we are speaking to people who love tourism, who love traveling to different places around South Africa, because we know that South Africa has a lot to offer. So we are here to improve what we call your bucket list. So we are going to be looking into what attraction site you're going to be visiting today or next month or next year. So our picture of the day is the Vooka Monument. So you're asking yourself, where is it? What's the information about it? Where can I get it more? So the Vooka Monument, located in the south of Pretoria, South Africa, within the VTM Nature Reserve on the Monument Hill. Its address is Vooka Monument, Ifis Road, Groenkloof 358 Junior in Pretoria, commemorates the Vookers who migrated from the Cape Colony between 1835 and 1854. Designed by Gerald Mujik, it was first proposed in 1888 but only materialized in 1931 with the formation of the Central Volks Montumeteko Meeting. Construction began in 1937 within the cornerstone laid in 1938 by descendants of Vooka leaders. The monument was inaugurated in the 16th December 1949 by Prime Minister D.F. Mellon, with the construction cost totaling £360,000, largely funded by South African government. Declared a National Heritage Site in 2011, the monument features a large amphitheater built in 1949, accommodating approximately 20,000 people. Of course, you want to know more about that. So, Afri Berry, you know, after reading about the Vooka Monument, I'm honestly blown away. There's so much history packed into that one side, man.
You know, seriously, I mean, it's not just the monument. It's a full-on experience. The story behind it, the design, the scale. It's really incredible, hey?
Yeah, man. And the fact that it was also built with contribution from the descendants of the original Vooka leaders, that is so powerful. You can really feel the heritage inside of it.
Plus, being able to stand in a place that holds that much cultural and historical significance, it is kind of it kind of puts things into perspective, eh?
Yeah, and it's not just about the past of the monument, man. It's about the views from the Monument Hill, the amphitheater, the natural surroundings. It's a perfect spot for a day out for your family and your friends.
You know, exactly. If you ever in or around Pretoria, don't just read about it. Go see the Vooka Monument for yourself.
Yeah, man, trust us. It is something that you have to experience in person. Go there and experience everything that it has to offer. The ecosystem, the surroundings, its scenic and beautiful adventure that it has for us. That is the Vooka Monument. If you want to know more about it, you can simply go to Google, just search Vooka Monument. That is where you're going to find every details about it. Whether you have to pay, you know, whether you have to bring people from outside who want to experience the history of the Afrikaners right here in South Africa. That's all for our picture of the day. Connect with us and tell us what you think. Have you ever been to the Vooka Monument? Right? All you can do is to comment down below. We are live right now on YouTube. We are also live on Facebook. And as Afriperi said, you can connect and call us on the number 060-493-3226. That is the number 060-493-3226. That's all for our picture of the day. Let's get into the content of what we have today for your energetic start to the day. All right, so I just want everybody to tell us, what do we have, man, today on today's show? It is a beautiful Wednesday, and we're looking forward into bringing you all of the information that you can use from day-to-day basis.
So today we have two comedians. We like making you crackle up, share a bit of laughter, have a bit of fun on this Wednesday. And today we have two comedians, and we also have somebody for our mind basket. And obviously we also have our daily bread, today in history, word of the day, celebrity birthdays, and so much more. Don't forget that we'll also be telling you how many days we are exactly in the year and how many weeks we have left. But guys, it's again, stay there, don't go too far, because we're coming back with the news, weather, traffic updates.
Musi Mist.
My name is Moketi Maimane.
Catch us every weekday morning, Monday to Friday, between 7 and 10.
Right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show, brought to you by the Blinko Network.
Always bringing you the best content possible.
Vooka Nati, wake up with us and kickstart your day on a great note.
This is your energetic start to the day. Hey family.
Hi, my name is Tisiga Mazbugo Shabalala.
My name is Moketi Maimane.
My name is Musi Mist.
My name is Ketsu Ketumgunu.
On the Vooka
Breakfast Show.
Every weekdays from 7 a.m.
to 10 a.m.
This is where we are going to have our topical discussion featuring various experts from different fields.
We're going to take care of you, and it's going to be amazing, man. Right now I'm on the set of the Vooka Breakfast Show, brought to you by the Blinko Network.
Do not forget to subscribe.
That's Vooka Breakfast Show on Facebook and all other social media platforms.
Vooka.
See you there.
All right, once again, a very good morning. Here are your first headlines for this morning. On the first headline, Ramaphosa and Mashatile security detail reinforced. The police have reinforced the security detail of President Cyril Ramaphosa and his deputy, Paul Mashatile. It follows the shooting of Mashatile's convoy in Boksburg a few weeks ago. Police say a high-level investigation is underway, with a ballistic report already concluded. The Crime Intelligence Division conduct regular risk and threat assessment on the president and his deputy. The National Police Commissioner, Fani Masemola, assures the nation that the executive is in safe hands. He says the presidential security personnel are highly trained and experienced. On the next headline, EFF accuses Finance Minister of deception over VAT hike. The EFF argues that Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana was deceptive with how he communicated the VAT increase to Parliament and the public. The party's lawyer, Advocate Tembeka Ngukatoibi, has told Western Cape High Court that Godongwana misled MPs by creating impressions that the hike could be changed when it was already a done deal. The DA and EFF are in court to try and halt the VAT hike. Although Parliament adopted the fiscal framework earlier this month, both parties argue that the process was unconstitutional and deceptive. On the next headline, poor money laundering control keeps South Africa on a grey list. South Africa is nearing compliance with the Finance Action Task Force's requirement to exit the grey list. In 2023, FATF outlined 22 action items to strengthen the country's measure against money laundering, terrorism, financing, and illicit transaction. According to the Clorep CEO, Frank Leonet, only 2 remain, demonstrating sustained efforts in investigating and prosecuting financial crimes and ensuring ensuring the business sector aligns with FATF initiatives. Progress has been made by both the government and private sector in holding wrongdoers accountable, signaling a shift towards meeting the global financial security standards. That's all for your news headline. Now, heading over to your sports headlines, starting off with rugby news. Forey remains crucial for Stormers even though injured. Dion Forey suffered a season-ending broken tibia during the Stormers' win over Connacht. While his leadership on the field will be missed, Forey continues mentoring Paul de Villiers, a promising 22-year-old replacement in the number 6 jersey. De Villiers impressed with his high work rate, tackling technique and ball-carrying ability. Stormers coach Rito Hlongwane and teammate Ivan Roos praised de Villiers' growth as he takes on a critical role. Despite Forey's absence, his guidance ensures de Villiers is prepared to step up for the team during the pivotal part of the season. Now let's head over to your football news. Manchester United interested in Wolves' Cunha. Brazilian striker Matheus Cunha, Wolves' top scorer with 16 goals this season, is expected to leave Monix, attracting interest from Manchester United and other Premier League clubs. United head coach Ruben Amorim aims to boost their scoring record with Cunha fitting the team's 3-4-2-1 formation. Cunha, who scored 32 goals in 87 Wolves appearances, has faced disciplinary issues, being sent off twice this season. United's planning is affected by financial uncertainty, with potential gains from Europa League success and Champions League qualification, but losses due to their current league position. Improvements will be addressed in the summer transfer. On your boxing news, inside 934 days of Eubank band bitterness and chaos. The band Eubank rivalry rooted in their father's iconic fights faced chaos after Connor's band's failed drug test in 2022. Despite years of disputes, the boxers finally meet on Saturday at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Ben denied intentional doping, citing contamination, and enjoyed a tarnished reputation. Eubank focused on other fights but sought revenge, culminating in confrontational moments like the infamous egg slap. Ben spent €1 million on legal battles, while promoter Eddie Hearn expects a boost during his ring walk. The bitter feud, marked by controversy and animosity, has amplified excitement for their long-awaited clash. That's all for now. Stay tuned for more sports and news updates throughout the show. Don't forget to share your thoughts on these headlines with us on social media using the hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show, and send us your voice note on 060-493-3226.
Hey family.
Hi, My name is Tisiga Shabalala.
My name is Moketi Maimane.
My name is Musi Mist
My name is Ketsuake Mguni
on the Vooka
Vooka Breakfast Show.
Every weekdays from 7 a.m.
to 10 a.m.
This is where we are going to have our topical discussion featuring various aspects from different fields.
We're going to take care of you and it's going to be amazing, man. Right now I'm on the set of the Vooka Breakfast Show, brought to you by the Blinko Network.
Do not forget to subscribe.
That's Vooka Breakfast Show on Facebook and all other social media platforms.
Vooka.
See you there.
Well, yeah, Shopping Blossom memory. Yes.
Wow.
It is your energetic start to the day, the Vooka Breakfast Show. Time right now at 22 minutes past 7. And once again, I welcome you to this wonderful and beautiful Wednesday morning. We can't wait to be with you throughout the show. All you need to do is to stay tuned, because more is going to be right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show. All I need you to do is connect with us throughout our social media platforms. We are live right now on YouTube, and we're also live on Facebook. Leave down your comments, and when you comment down below, use the hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show. We know that we don't cease to amaze when it comes to bringing you good content. It is raining outside. Just let me know wherever you are. Is it raining? Is it sunny? And if it's not, you can send me that beautiful picture of your morning view wherever you are. Once again, my name is Moketi Maimane, and I am not alone, of course, right here in the studio. I'm with the one and only beautiful Afri Berry. A very good morning once again, and how are you doing, man, this morning?
Nah, man, I'm doing okay. Hey, I'm just trying. That's all that I can do for now.
Yeah.
And just literally try to fight off the urge of wanting to sleep, and hopefully try to fight off the urge of me having a cold.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I'm doing fantastic.
Yeah, thank you for that. Keep on trying, because you know that whenever we stop doing what we do, nothing is going to get, in our way. We're not going to get the results that we want. So we should always keep on trying. It is a Wednesday and we are heading for the weekend. We know that each and every week we have our challenges, and each and every day has its own challenges that you and I can face and can solve. We are here to solve those problems for you. So in terms of the lineup that we have for you today on our today's guest, we're going to be having 3 people, and right now I'm getting a confirmation that 2 of our comedians will be online right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show. So we're going to be having Mr. Kudakwashe, known as George Kuda. He is a comedian, so he will be with us right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show. If laughter it is your best medicine, then do make sure that you do not miss that one. And also Mr. Barry Hilton, a renowned comedian, actor, and a motivational speaker, will also be joining us right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show. So you do not also want to miss that, because we have a jam-packed show full of comedians, because yes, what is Wednesday without Wednesday laughter? And lastly but not least, it's Jessica Fush on the Mind Basket. She is a wellness counselor. Speaking everything mind, speaking everything being cancelled with your wellness, because we know that our wellness, your wellness matters so much. So you're going to be getting into the conversation, and I hope you have your notepad right there just to take some of the tips you can use and share with your friends and families to make sure that everything that you do is according to order. We need these kind of people, and when they come here, they're not only coming here to have a conversation, but they're here for insightful conversation. 25 minutes past 7. I know that you guys are still joining the live. The hashtag to use is hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show. Hashtag this is the time to be right now. And it is, of course, episode 44 of the Vooka Breakfast Show. So, Aveberry, when looking at...
but apparently it's episode 47. Not
47. Am I looking at the wrong stream right here? Because it needs to be changed. It needs to be changed, because I think you guys need to remove also the Rain Show 2025 date.
Yeah,
we are
because
in part
it keeps
2.
on appearing.
Yeah, so we'll fix that for you, and get our numbers right, man. We are deep into so many episodes, and now we're getting lost on how many episodes. Maybe this is the 100th episode, for that little mistake that we are doing. But yeah, man, it's still raining outside. We just want to know, is it raining? Is it raining right there? So what we're going to do right now is to give you your weather update, and, keep informed and well updated with your weather wherever you are. Whether you're driving, whether you're at home, or you're preparing to go to school, or you're preparing to go to work, we've got you covered here with your weather update. And then we're going to take a short break, give you that weather update, and then when we come back, I'm going to give you your traffic update right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show. Let us take a short break, and this is your weather update. All right, that was your weather update. We hope that you are updated, and we're still going to keep you updated on what to wear on this rainy weather. But I hope that you are wearing as warm as you can. It is the Vooka Breakfast Show, what promises to become an exciting episode. Your energetic start to the day. Located in the heart of Johannesburg, it is Dobsonville, Soweto. That is where we are streaming live. So if you're listening and you're on the road, this is your latest traffic update. So there's a crash that has occurred on the R21 southbound near the ramp from Nelmapias Drive M31. 2 out of 4 lanes are currently closed. Please drive with caution and be prepared for possible delays. There's a crash. A crash has been reported on the N12 westbound near the ramp from Putfontein. And also, road 1 of 3 lanes is closed, so please approach the area cautiously and expect possible delays. A stationary vehicle has been reported on the N1 southbound just after the Butlich interchange ramp from the N1 south. 1 of 4 lanes is currently closed. Please proceed with caution and expect potential delays. A stationary vehicle has been reported on the N12 westbound before Klip River Drive near the ramp from Komaro Street M11. An emergency lane is closed. That's all for your traffic update. Do make sure that you stay with us, and if you happen to know and you see any traffic that you want to update us with, do make sure that you use the hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show, hashtag traffic right here. And also, if you're on Facebook, do the same by giving us that same update. It is your traffic update. But now, right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show, we have what we call our day-to-day, every day today in history, where we give you all of the relevant moments that happened in history. It is something that we're going to be going through right now. All you need to do is just to listen and tell us what you think. You can also send your voice note on 063-493-3226. It's 060-493-3226. So, as we started with the Votreka monument that served with significant memories that you can use, and you can go to that place and learn more about its history and its heritage. On the first one, we have the YouTube first video featured co-founder Jawan Karim at the San Diego Zoo. Within a year, 100 million views. Me at the Zoo is a YouTuber. It's a YouTube video uploaded on April 23, 2005, recognized as the first video uploaded to the platform. The 19-second video features Jawan Karim, one of the co-founders of YouTube. His high school friend Yakov Lapsky recorded it. In the video, Karim is seen standing in front of 2 elephants at the San Diego Zoo in California, where he briefly comments on the length of their trunks. Multiple journalists thought the video represented YouTube as a whole and stated it was a monumental step for the platform's history. Karim later updated the video's description to criticize YouTube's usage of Google Plus accounts and removal of dislikes from public view. As of April 2025, the video has received more than 355 million views. So you can check it out. Just go to YouTube and check out Me at the Zoo. That was the video that has been recognized as the first video that was uploaded to the platform of YouTube. On the second one in history, what happened today was Coca-Cola launched new Coke, but public outrage led to Coca-Cola's classic return within 3 months. So on April 23, 1985, Coca-Cola replaced its 99-year-old formula with new Coke. The reformulated drink contained more corn syrup and less phosphoric acid, creating a sweeter taste that matched Pepsi flavor profile. At the time, Pepsi commanded 58.4% of supermarket sales, while Coke held 41.6%. On the next one, Margaret Heckler announced researchers found AIDS causing virus, later named HIV, marking a major breakthrough. 40 years ago today, April 23rd, 1984, President Ronald Reagan's Secretary of Health and Human Services, Margaret Heckler, announced the discovery of the virus responsible for causing AIDS. She also announced a vaccine might be coming soon. She would be woefully wrong on that second account. That's all for today in history. Just let me know if you happen to know any of the things that happened back then. Do make sure that you leave your comments down below. So moving on, we're going to be looking into the days we are into the year, because of course when you look into the history, speaking about the things that are 80 to 40 years back, but now we are in 2025, and how many days are we in this year? So the number of days into the year today marks the 113th day of the year and 114th in leap years. So we are left with 254 days till we hit the last day of 2025 and head over to 2026. And also it's 35 weeks remaining. So a lot should be expected. Are you expecting anything in these days left, or you looking forward to December, or you don't want the year to end?
Hi. You know what? In these upcoming days, I don't generally have anything that I'm expecting. You would, what do you call this? You could say that I'm basically winging it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, I don't have anything that I'm expecting.
No expecting. You're not looking forward to something. Maybe a new relationship, a wedding, a child, maybe being part of the polygamy. I mean, people have, mystery things. People have wild things. People share, mysterious things, that we want. Maybe someone out there, they're like, you know what? I'm looking to be in a wedding where I will be the fifth wife. It's someone's wish out there. It's still a beautiful year. It's still 2025, the year of possibilities. Every year have its own possibilities, and we create those possibilities. So you haven't created any possibilities for yourself. It's April, Pell.
I have, but it's something that I prefer to keep on lockdown and not talk about.
Okay.
Sometimes you just don't have to be a jinx about things.
Yeah.
People just need to see things happening.
Okay, now I'll take that. And speaking of things that are happening right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show, we always celebrate.
Wait. So today in history, right?
Yeah.
In film and television. In 2016, Beyonce releases her sixth album, Lemonade, with 1 hour film on HBO.
Wow.
I didn't even know that it had a 1 hour film. I just knew that she has an album called Lemonade, but I didn't know that it had like a 1 hour thingamabob on it, right?
Yeah.
And then did you know, right? Gamma ray burst is observed for 10 seconds, the most distant object of any kind, and is also the oldest known object in the universe.
Yeah.
This happened in 2009 and April the 23rd.
Wow. Interesting.
Oh my gosh. Okay, you can start with the celebrity birthdays because I also have my thing.
Yeah, of course, man. Of course. We always celebrate, those celebrities who are still with us and also who are not with us anymore. So, who do we have on our celebrity birthdays? The first one is Mr. Bram Fischer. Birthday 23 April 1908 and died on the 8th of May in 1975. You want to know? Let me go through. You will know who is Mr. Bram Fischer. Okay. He passed away at the age of 67. Interesting fact about him, Bram Fischer was the first South African lawyer who fought against apartheid. And he was a South African communist lawyer of Afrikaner descent with a partial Anglo-African ancestry from his paternal grandmother, notable for anti-apartheid activism and for the legal defense of anti-apartheid figures, including Nelson Mandela at the Rivonia trial. Following the trial, he was himself put on trial accused on furthering communism. He was sentenced to life imprisonment and diagnosed with cancer while in prison. The South African Prison Act was extended to include his brother's house in Bloemfontein, where he died 2 months ago. You still want to know who's he? There we go, Mr. Bram Fischer.
Okay, that man will be using Bram Fischer after him.
Yeah, Bram Fischer Hills, next to Dobsentin. That's that's how they got to name Bram Fischer, right? Because he was a South African communist lawyer and African descent, right? So some of the places, yes, this is the history. What? We do have a Bram Fischer. For those who don't know, next to Dobsonville, where we are.
They said he's an African what?
Afrikaner descent.
Oh, okay.
Right? So for those who don't know, we are in Dobsonville. There's a place called Bram Fisher, and that place was named after Mr. Bram Fisher. Passed away at the age of 67, and he was going to turn 60. Okay, no. And then the next one is the one and only John Cena. He was born today, April 23rd, in 1977. John Cena is turning 48 years old. Interesting fact about John Cena is that he started weightlifting to combat bullies. John Cena was known as the doctor of Thuganomics. He's a decorated WWE wrestler with 25 professional championships, including the 16 WWE World Heavyweight titles. Beyond wrestling, he has starred in films such as The Marine, Legendary, and Playing with Fire. Before fame, he worked as a limousine chauffeur while pursuing bodybuilding. Cena performed the WWE theme song Basic Thugonomics, featured on the WWE original soundtrack. His personal life includes marriages to Elizabeth Huberdeau and later Shay Shariazadeh. Following a high-profile engagement with fellow wrestler Nikki Bella, he is regarded as one of the WWE most accomplished wrestler alongside Hulk Hogan, who amassed multiple championships across WWE, WWF, and WCW. Happy birthday to John Cena. And one of the movies that they didn't mention is the Fast and the Furious. He's featured in the Fast and the Furious as Dom's little brother. Right, that is John Cena. He is growing up today. And
I have two more.
Yeah, so the last two is the one and only Mr. William Shakespeare. Was born in April 23rd, 1564. And then died in April 23rd, 1616. He passed away at the age of 52. Interesting fact, during his lifetime, William Shakespeare wrote around 37 plays for the theater and over 150 poems. No one can say the exact number because some of his work may have been lost over time, and some may have been written with the help of others. And speaking of his work, before I continue, I just want you guys to grab me a book of Shakespeare just to read some of the work that he has done. Just right in the corner below there's a book of Shakespeare. I'm just gonna read some of the things that Mr. Shakespeare wrote. So I don't know if the book is there. So continuing with the information of William Shakespeare, widely regarded as the greatest writer in English language, was influential playwright, poet, and actor known as the Bard of Avon. He authored 39 plays, 154 sonnets, and several narrative poems, with his work translated into every major language performed more than any playwright born in Stratford upon Avon. He married Anne Hathaway and later pursued a successful career in London, becoming a key figure in the Lord Chamberlain's Men, later the King's Men. His writing evolved from comedies and histories to iconic tragedies like Hamlet, Othello, King Lear, Macbeth, before transitioning to tragicomedies such as The Winter's Tale and The Tempest. Following his death, his friends published the first folio, securing his last literary legacy. His work remains central literature, continually studied and reinterpreted worldwide. Because we are celebrating Mr. William Shakespeare, we have some of his book. This one is called A Midsummer Night Dream. As you can see it right there, this is some of his work. We have heard that Shakespeare used very, very bold words. They call them bombastic words. So I just want to read just a little passage of, Mr. William Shakespeare, because apparently he uses very, very bold words. So right here, it's written, thesis, I must confess that I have had so much, and with Demetrius thought to have spoken thereof, but being over full of self-affairs, my mind did lose it. But Demetrius come, and I come. Aegeus, you shall go with me. I have some private schooling for you both. For you, fair Herminia, look your arm yourself to fit your fancies to your father's will, or else the law of Athens yields you up, which by no means you may extenuate to death or to vow of single life. Come, my Hippolyta, with cheer, my love. Dimitras and Igis go along. I must employ in some business against our nuptial and confer with you. Of something nearly concerns yourself with duty, desire, we follow you. Oh, happy birthday, man. We're still going to celebrate Mr. Shakespeare. Some of his work is worldly renowned. So, happy birthday to him.
If Shakespeare was alive,
Yeah. Wow. If Shakespeare was still alive, he would be 461 years old. Wow. That will be. Yeah.
Okay, Mo. So the two birthdays.
No, I still
that
have the
I
last
had.
one. Last
Oh,
one, and then
oh,
I'll
no,
give it
two
to
last
you.
ones.
No, this is the last one. I was still going through Mr. Shakespeare, who's turning 461 years today.
Romeo, Wankolota.
Mr. Song Kang is growing today. Birth year April 23rd, 1994, age 31 years old. Interesting fact about him, he got his start acting alongside Red Velvet's Joy. Song Kang, a South Korean actor known as the son of Netflix, gained popularity through lead roles in love anthem Sweet Home, Navilech, Nevertheless, Forecasting Love and Weather, and My Demon. Beginning his career in 2017 with The Liar and His Lover, he later hosted Inkigayo and debuted on the big screens in Beautiful Vampire. His breakout role came out in Sweet Home 2020, which reached a global audience. The song continued to expand his career with Alam's second season's Navilech and Nevertheless. In 2021, his works consistently ranked among Netflix's most watched K-dramas, solidifying his status as a rising star. He has held fan meetings across Asia and remains a major figure in Korean entertainment. Happy birthday to him. Mr. Song Kang, who do you have?
So I have Gigi Hadid, who's a supermodel and has a background of being a supermodel, right? She is the sister of Bella Hadid and the best friend to Courtney. No, not Courtney, man. Michael Kendall, Bokobale, who's that other one who's a supermodel? Her, Kardashian. I forgot her. And then we also have George Lopez, and he's turning 63. George Lopez is also known for his character on Shark Boy and Lover Girl, playing Mr. Electro. Y'all don't watch anime. You never watched kiddies movies growing up, ne?
No.
Yeah.
But I was a kid. I watched kiddies movies. What do you mean?
If you watched it, then you would have known about Shark Boy and Lover Girl.
I don't know that one, man.
Hey.
I don't.
Hey.
Maybe by seeing it. Shark Boy, Lover Boy.
Shark Boy and Lover Girl. And then George Lopez plays Mr. Electro. And then he's a comedian, but he's acted on so many American productions.
Yeah.
But that one is by far my favorite. I'll see that our producer will definitely find what I'm talking about and let you know what it is. And then you know what? I'd also read this name, ne? But then, guys, why do you all have weird names and stuff?
Yeah. Who's that, Pel? You want to celebrate?
T2 is in the name, but he was born in 1998 and apparently passed away this year. And then it's also the birthday of the Prince. Prince Louis of Wales is turning 6.
6. Come on, man.
He's a prince. So they celebrate his birthday. He's turning 6. And it's his birthday today. But
Happy birthday to him.
That's a word of a day.
Yeah! Hip hip!
Hooray! Almost
Hooray! Hooray!
Yeah. So if you happen to know anyone who is growing out there, so that's the movie. I don't know it. Sure.
Shark Boy and Lover Girl.
Shark Boy and Lover Girl.
Yes, that's him over there. That's George Lopez playing Mr. Electro.
What? Okay. No idea at all. I grew up watching Tikoloshi stuff, things. But if you happen to know anyone who's growing up today, just give them a shout out right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show by using the hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show, hashtag Sivugile, hashtag Happy Birthday to my friend, to my dad, to my mom, to my sister, or anyone that has played a significant and huge role in your life. And you know that we always practice what we call word of the day, just to make sure that our everyday today vocabulary, it becomes as good as it needs to be. We improve it and we encourage that people use these words on their day to day. Because we were celebrating Mr. Shakespeare, he is what we call the extreme idealization of difficult words. We're going to be choosing one of the words that he was described as. I know this is going to be, it's going to take some time because my producers also, they will get, that difficult time of, getting the word. But I'm going to spell it out so that we can understand it. It's Shakespeare. We might take 30 minutes when it comes to explaining this word, when it comes to going through this word. Right? So our word of the day is badultery.
But what now?
Badultery. I don't know whether to say badolatry or the A is silent and say badultery. Right? Badultery is spelled as follows. It's a BARDOLATRY. It's BARDOLATRY. Badultery. So I just want to play here where the English women or men spells out the word and pronounce the word for us to hear. So let's hear how it is pronounced, because it's Shakespeare at the end of the day.
Bardolatry. Bardolatry.
Badolatry. Right. So badolatry is the extreme idolization of William Shakespeare, whose nickname is the Bard of Avon, or simply the Bard. A bard is a poet. Shakespeare, who was born in 1564 and died in 1616, was an English poet, playwright who wrote some of the most famous work of all time, such as Romeo and Juliet, Hamlet, and Macbeth. So, badolatry is the extreme idolization of William Shakespeare. Apparently, we can't use that word because this is all about Shakespeare. Whenever you use the word badolatry, is when you idealize William Shakespeare and his work such as Romeo and Juliet, Hamlet, and also Macbeth. So just let me know that if you have read some of William Shakespeare work at school, just let me know which, some of the work that you have read while at school. Maybe they gave you an assignment, they gave you a case study on William Shakespeare. Did you do William Shakespeare at school?
No.
Who did William Shakespeare, man?
I did.
Like, I've heard people.
But Things Fall Apart and Animal Farm.
You did Animal Farm? Mm-hmm. Yes, I did Animal Farm.
And for grade 12, I did Chinua Achebe, Things Fall Apart.
So that means Shakespeare is for people who are like born in the 1970s.
No, there's a difference. If I went to school at Midlands High, I would have done Shakespeare because they were doing Shakespeare. But then I went to school at Tutolori and we did Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achebe. There are some schools here in Soweto that actually did Shakespeare, and some are still doing Shakespeare.
Yeah.
But in the high school that I went to, I did not do Shakespeare.
Yeah. I mean, guys, some of the works from Shakespeare, man, because some of us, we did Bo My Children, My Africa. If you happen to have done Shakespeare, share some of the work. What is it? Did you guys, given a task of, doing a poem, writing a poem using Shakespeare's style, or, it was a case study that you needed to go and question were given to you? Right there, I have Hector Takalani on YouTube at hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show, hashtag We Are Awakened. But you guys woke up early, woke up late today. Mr. Hector, you woke up late. And whoever is watching right now, you woke up late. Right? Just let me know right there in the comments if you are awake or it's just your phone. You just left your phone and, it's us talking in the background. Because we are just going through some of the Shakespeare's work. Maybe some of you guys have went through Shakespeare's work. Today, Shakespeare is growing up and we are celebrating his birthday. Right? So, here with me, I have, his book. I went through it, some of the thing, A Midsummer's Night Dream. I don't know if it was available right there when I read, some of his work here. So William Shakespeare, Avon, some of the work is Winter's Tale, right? So this is a Midsummer Night's Dream. Midsummer Night's Dream. I don't have a Midsummer's Night Dream here, right? But this is for school children. This is for school children. So if you have done William Shakespeare, just let me know, man. Did you learn anything? Did it help you? Was it relevant to what you were doing at school, right? Because here, I just want to go through the first page. So these are the extracts from the opening act of the play. Before you read the act, decide what you think they might mean. Oh, okay. Yeah. But reading some of the things, one says, Hippolyta, our nuptial hour draws on apace. Do you know what's apace? Exactly.
I speak 21st century English.
4 happy days bring in another moon. But oh, methinks how slow this old moon wanes. She lingers my desires like to a step dame or a dowager, long withering out a young man's revenue. 4 days will quickly steep themselves in night. 4 nights will quickly dream away the time. And then the moon, like to a silver bow, new bent in heaven, shall behold the night of our solemnities. Oh, go philostrate, stir up the Athenian youth to merriment, awake the pet and nimble spirit of mirth. Turn melancholy forth to funerals. The pale companion is not for our pomp. Hippolyta, I wooed thee with my sword, and won thy love doing thee injuries. But I will wed thee in other key, with pomp, with triumph, and with reveling. Did you get that? Did you get that? This is beautiful. This is wonderful, man. Right? So, with this profound words that are written in here, man. Yes, I do have some of the people who, who are the favorites of Shakespeare. I have Queen Ramusui. Good morning. We are awake and already at work, and this should be in bed weather. Sivugile. Yeah, it speaks to what you were saying. Everybody was sleeping right here in the show, and we could have just given her a blanket just to solve her problems right here. Right? But now Queen is like, okay, sharp. And then Rosina Oliphant are my favorite. Love is not love, which alters when it alteration finds. Anywho, Harriet was a black woman who actually wrote his books. Agiti. What? What?
Wait, Baramang wrote his books?
A black woman wrote Shakespeare was black. Wow.
We're having a cultural shock at this moment. Wait, so they say that Harriet wrote his books.
Harriet. Hey, who's Harriet?
No, I'm saying the comment that you just read.
Yeah, so Rosina Are head was a black. She had that it was a black woman who actually wrote his books.
I wonder who was that?
Akiti.
No, but
so Rosina Elephant.
Oliphant. Oliphant.
I hope I'm pronouncing that correct. I'm mo obala wrong. I've never had anyone.
Give that a go.
Because you're a poet and you are used to these things. Ke tla reng ke badile my children my African na. Ke tseba bo Mr. Kana ke Mr. Mang. Mr. And it was a black boy and a white girl. They went to the school competition. They met. Those are the books that we read, Mudimak. Bo Shakespeare, read there. Hit us with something.
Okay, so the segment is called Words and Images, right? And it reads like this. I am sick. Some will argue that Demetrius is being honest and true with his own feelings. Others will argue that he is being rude and unchivalrous. What do you think? This story, the tiger. What 3 stories does she use as examples of role reversals? What do they all have in common? Hell. Well, Why is it appropriate that there should be a rhyming couplet at this point? I know a bank, a ferry inn. This is a famous speech which has been used as a song lyric. What kind of picture do these words paint to prepare our imaginations for the next scene? And with hateful fantasies, how does O'Brien plan to punish the Tatiana? Hey, predict what you think will happen when she wakes up. Elor Tatiana wentse yanong ba batla mo punisha so. Ising kore ke ba dilo go le site nga ka ba la story yo fela mari Tatiana.
Yeah.
In trouble.
Hey man, there's a lot here. So I don't know if Rosina had that. Did everybody read it correct? Because now I read what I see here.
Yeah, you read what you understand, my guy.
Yeah, because I think some of these men, you should have, a certain way of reading style, I guess. Because I think on the side, sometimes they just give you words that you can go through. So, 235, there is, from 235 to 261, there's words here. Stay around to listen to, but I shall, that won't do. Make a woman behave scandalously. Upon by blows, blossom, ox lips, small white flowers, quiet woodbine, sheltered by a canopy of honeysuckle, elegantine sweet briar, sometimes of 4-part of throws, cast off a never. Aye, guys. I would have failed this, Marlene. Yeah, aye. But I see we had, some of the fans of Rosina, right? Fans of Shakespeare.
The defense is Rosina.
Apparently, Rosina is our Shakespeare today because her favorite is love is not love, which alters when it alteration finds. Wow.
Hey, no, when I'm turning favorite ya Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Oh,
so I imagine Gibson Kente or Kent. Gibson Kente type of acting, right? That's how you read him, like you are performing on stage. Wow. Like it's so interesting. It's so interesting to, hear hore you can reference bo Shakespeare libo Gibson Kente on how he's acting, because Gibson Mtutuzeli was a South African playwright, a composer, director, and producer based in Soweto. So how he did his things, that's how you're supposed to read the works of Shakespeare. Interesting. Thank you so much with that insightful information, Mr. Oliphant. We'll take that into consideration. Hector Takalani, at word of the day, badolatry. Can't make up a sentence. Yes, don't worry. We know, because badolatry is extreme idealization of Shakespeare. So when you use that word, it means you love Shakespeare, right? That is our word of
okay, wait,
the
to
day.
Rosina, can you kindly please send us a sentence using the word of the day, since you're also a Shakespeare lover? Because for some of us who never really had the passion or the love with Shakespeare and his artistry,
Yeah.
we're struggling to find the perfect way of using badolatry.
Yeah.
So for you, any Shakespeare fan, please send us a text or WhatsApp to 060-493-3226 and let us know how you would use the word.
Yeah, because Shakespeare was a poet, and now this is for music lovers. If you love Afro Soul, stand a chance to win a one of 4 tickets to see Thandiswa Mazwai on the 27th of April at 4 Ways at 250 on Cedar Road. Lifestyle Country House. They serve food. They have a saloon and a car wash. Experience Thandiswa's captivating music live. Stay tuned for later. The tickets are worth 700 each. and you stand a chance to win those tickets. So stay with us because we are running a competition to see the South African queen of Afro Soul, Thandiswa Mazwai, going to be bringing magic on the stage. And obviously the Vooka Breakfast Show is giving away 4 tickets worth 700. It means one ticket is worth 700 rand, and you stand a chance to win that ticket for free. All you need to do is to subscribe, tune in, and later the competition is going to start where we're going to be asking questions. And if you answer the question correctly, you get yourself that free ticket and see Thandiswa Mazwai performing live on stage. So do not go anywhere. 4 minutes past 8, it is the time. While you're thinking about that, let me take a short break and decide whether you want this ticket or you don't. Let's go to a short break, and then when we come back, we continue with our daily breed.
South Africa's queen of Afro Soul, Thandiswa Mazwai, will be bringing you magic at 250 on Cedar Lifestyle Country House on the 27th of April. Now you definitely don't want to be left out.
Live music, delicious food, a saloon, and even a car wash. It's more than just a concept, it's a lifestyle experience.
Get your ticket for 700 rands right now or 800 at the gate. You want VIP treatment? It will cost you 1,500 rands with an inclusion of a Sunday buffet.
Vooka Breakfast Show is giving away 4 tickets worth 700 rands. Tune in, subscribe to the Vooka Breakfast Show on YouTube to stand a chance to win.
Book now at CompuTicket or Web Ticket or call 081 521 5581.
Yes, yes. Yes, captivating moments that you do not want to miss. Stand a chance to win a free ticket to see the Afro Soul Queen, Thandiswa Mazwai, on stage. Welcome back. You're still watching the Vooka Breakfast Show, your energetic start to the day. Located in the heart of Johannesburg, Soweto, Dobsonville, that is where we are streaming live. The time right now, it's 8 minutes past 8. Still in the morning, and we give you your weather update Is it raining where you are? Because where we are, it is definitely raining here in Dobsonville. So if you guys are experiencing a sunny and shiny weather where you are, just take a picture and send it through us so that we can look at the beautiful nature that we have today. So before the break, we were just going through some of the word of the day today in history. And we went through, the words and the works of Shakespeare. And thank you to Rosina. She is so much, informative when it comes to Shakespeare because she went through, some of his work. And one of her favorites is Love is Not Love, which alters when in alteration finds. Beautiful. Do make sure that you keep on engaging with us on all social media platforms. We are now live on Facebook. We are also live on YouTube. Hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show is the hashtag to use. Hashtag Nivugile na. Are you guys awake? Because we are here. Use that hashtag Sivuki. All right, coming up on the line up as we promised that today we're going to be having 3 guests online, 2 comedians and 1 wellness counselor, Mr. Jessica Fush, a wellness counselor right there. Oh, Jessica. Oh, the thing is I'm reading my list. I have 2 misters right here, so I made a mistake, man. I have Mr. Gudakwashi and Mr. Barry Hilton. So it happens, man. It happens, Mr. and Miss. Guys, let us just call them with their names. Jessica Fush will be here with us as a wellness... Fouché. Fouché. Yeah. Fauci. Who's that? Dr. Fauci. Oh, that's the same pronunciation. Maybe. Fuchi. But we will get, the exact pronunciation of her surname from herself, all right? Mm-hmm. She will be here as the wellness counselor on the Mind Basket. Definitely, you do not want to miss that conversation that will be happening right here. So, getting on into what is trending, what is happening on our social media platforms is what we discuss here. But before, I have a comment from Rosina. Yo, nga fa Afropiri. Yo, hey, Afroberry.
Afroberry, Rosina. Afroberry, not Afroberry. Man.
Yeah.
Oh.
But obviously, we know that we always discuss what are the things that are trending in our social media. And we come here and discuss with you. If you know anything that is trending, do make sure that you stay with us or you share with us. And you can call us and say, yay, Mo and Afriberry. There's something that is trending and people are saying this and this. Obviously, your opinion matter. Share any opinion that you want. You can also send us your voice note on 060-493-3226. And when I woke up today, one of the trending topics on my ex and all social media platforms is Orania. And you might be asking yourself, what is happening in Orania? Yes, we started off with the Votreka monument, looking at the Afrikaner, their lifestyle, their heritage. But now, African Hub, they woke up and were like, you know what? Orania is trending, and what is happening? So, South Africa, the EFF party members went to demonstrate in Orania, a place where black people are not allowed to live. Obviously, this will spark a controversy amongst a lot of people on the internet. People will always say things. The things that I'm not saying here, it's not that they're fact. It's people commenting on the post that they see on the social media. Yes, you can also comment. There's Orania, a place that is only for Afrikaners. No blacks are allowed to live right there. Right? So, Secretary of State on Twitter responds, saying, blacks, why can't you build your own Orania? I mean, it's here, it's Soweto, Dobsonville, right? And then he says, here is why black people can build their Orania. He says, you give a white man 300 million rands. He builds a university. You give Panyaza Lisufi 430 million. He sanitizes empty classrooms. You give Zuma 250 million. He builds a pool. The white man is not your problem. It's your own brothers. So I don't know if you agree with that. In the whole amidst of everything that is happening right now, white Afrikaners, they have their own place to stay, which is called Orania. And EFF went there to display, and they went to demonstrate in Orania, a place where black people are not allowed to live. And then Eyewitness News, they also came and said, and they quoted the words of the EFF leader Tlaole, "I am going to be a resident of Orania." And then the Vox Stat said, "Anti-white, anti-Afrikaner, anti-Orania haters screaming against our very existence today. And whiteness, Orania must fall." Perhaps I do not speak for every Afrikaner, but I know that I speak for many when I say we demand our Vox Stat now. So I don't know what you think right there. Should Orania be stopped, or should black people build their own Orania and forget about the white peoples and the white Afrikaners?
You know, the
Orania?
fact that we have a place called Orania, or a place for white people only in this day and age that we live in, kind of goes to show that the supposed white genocide does not actually exist. I mean, these people have been living in the where not even like man. This thing makes no sense. Why do you say you live in a democratic world, but yet you still have a white only place? What's the whole point of that? And then you know what? Bonke masbayegeni bahlala lapha Orania. Because I think it also goes to show whether or not we can stand together as black people and actually strive for what we want. Because I bet half of, like maybe 80% of South Africans never even knew that there's such a place like this. Because the place has been under wraps for the longest time. We are 30 plus years within apartheid, within post-democratic, right? 30 years and democracy. Plain plus state. And then nahana o tlo tla se re tlo tshwara 31 re le mo democracy ngore na ne play ke le hore e dule makhoa fela ka ofela. Awu ne ba tloele ba dula teng mo rona. It's about time we form a bond and just make sure that we strive to become one of the best countries ever. We live up to our names and become the best African country in the world. Let it be. Let's see if we close off the water, if they'll survive.
Hey, there's so many things that are happening. So, since we read some of the words from, the leader, Mr. Tlaole, I'm going to be the resident of Orania. So right now with me, I have him, speaking with the news outlet on why they are threatening the court actions over Orania. This is what he had to say.
Views against Orania.
We must respect the law of this country. So we will go to different courts of this country and demand this matter be taken into consideration. It must be heard in court if that's the push. But we don't want to go that route yet. We are saying let there be political engagement. Let there be a political decision.
The Freedom Front Plus say they will...
Right. So they're fighting for that, in that, this is a democratic country, a diverse country where anyone is allowed to live. You have a right to live. You have a right of placement. You have a right to shelter. But now, the Freedom Plus, we don't know what is their response, to this one. But in terms of response, I have, the Freedom Front Plus NC leader, Mr. Dr. Weinard Boshoff. Let's hear what he had to say over those remarks that were said by EFF.
A community is not something that you dissolve or that you stop being by a decree or something. You can do that with an organization. You can outlaw an organization, but a community is just there. And it's not really possible to dissolve it by legislation or by decree or whatever. So we could traverse a road of confrontation, or we could see how we complement each other in a post-apartheid South Africa. I could also say a post-colonial Africa, and what role Afrikaners and especially Orania has to play in that, because I think that is what's important.
You cannot dissolve a community. That is what the FF plus, you know. But it's true though.
No, it's not about even dissolving the community. But then, like, seriously, so that means those people actually live by their own rules and do not abide to any rule that has to do with the South African Constitution right now. Because what country, I'm just really trying to understand, why aren't black people allowed in Orania, yet it is on a black land? You're in an African land, in Africa, and then you're telling me that I'm not allowed. Why am I not allowed if you're in my land? You're 29, you didn't come with land, you found land here.
Yeah.
You're 50, you still found the land here.
Yeah.
Why are black people not allowed, man? Seriously, then if black people are not allowed, they should be cut off anything that has to do with the black government. Water, electricity, a total cut out. Let's see how they'll survive.
Yeah. It's a community.
We can say they're self-efficient, but who can actually support that? Because they've been living within their own knit community. And then ask yourself, when exactly was it established? How long has it been there? We can say they're self-sufficient, but we won't officially know because most officials that we have in South Africa are black. And they literally won't even be allowed in there.
I mean, there are some documentaries I went through, you know, about Orania on YouTube. I found out that Orania has its own currency, you know. So this also speaks to them trying to create their own community. It is possible in this country, right? It doesn't mean when they are, you know, when they found a settlement right there and built everything, they have their own banks, they have their own schools, they have their own curriculum. They just closing off themselves from the rest of the society. Is it wrong? That's why EFF threatens to take them to court so that Orania can be reviewed, so that we can find out that everything that they do, it abides with the Constitution and the law. It's some of the things that we should look into. If Bram Fisher decides tomorrow that they're going to close off their walls, and then you find out they build their own mall, they build their own school, and they have their own currency. Yes, you're like, okay, it's a good thing, but now let us find out what is being done. Maybe there are some of the things that they're promoting. Maybe they're promoting crime, they're doing wrong things, but they do release the statement. The Freedom Plus, party leaders, sometimes they release statements. They speak mostly to the eyewitness news. They once came in and they said, in Orania, reports of crime, there are zero. You know, I don't blame them. We live in a country whereby every day you hear of a situation, there's a crime-related situation that has happened. You know, whether in Soweto, outside Johannesburg, in any province in the country. Senzo Mchunu, he is working with highly profile criminals in this country. Not he's working, but he is fighting against those highly profile criminals. When someone decides and say, you know what, we just want to close off, let's build a wall over ourselves and have a gate and a security to protect ourselves from these people. And then you see that crimes drops. I mean,
you know, what they're doing kind of reminds me of the Amish community in the US. There is a certain community that lives within their own certain types of different rules. Yes, they read the Bible, but then the rules are much more stricter.
Yeah.
And then they don't allow outside people. You need to be first granted access by the high priest in order for you to enter. But you know, the one different thing between the Amish community and Orania is the fact that it does not discriminate against color. Why black people?
Eish. Let's find out, man, because we have some of the remarks from people, giving their views on Orania.
Premier will work through the memorandum, and then we are going to give them the responses as they requested in 30 days. At this point in time, I think the best thing for us to do now is to make sure we start and give them the right information. I cannot now off the cuff say we are going to do this or that, because you must remember that we are in a constitutional democracy here. So there are rights and there are privileges that we must protect in the constitution.
The ANC in the province is currently in a coalition with the FF Plus after it failed to...
Right. So assessments are being done. Of course, this situation is still in good hands. They're still looking into getting Orania into court, right? But now, speaking of comparing and looking at how things are looking like, I just want to share a picture with you here, comparing Orania with our own place that we call Hillbrow. So this is where you will get to understand some of the things that they are fighting for, because I don't know if they did this on purpose just to give off the image of how some of the black areas are looking like. But right now, this is the picture that I have found. So this is a differentiation between how Orania is looking like and how Hillbrow is looking like. So this is the black Rania, right? By looking in this image and by my virtue of perception and understanding what is happening here, I'm like, okay, Orania, keep your land to yourself, guys, because apparently when we come there, we are going to pollute the place. Not to say black people are dirty or something. Yes, there are beautiful suburbs where black people live. But CBD itself, it's a mess, guys. Like we have seen it. It's not something that is hidden from us. You go outside right now, you take a taxi to Joburg, and you get exposed to how the city looks. You will be disappointed, man.
We might always say that black people make the city become dirty. Black people don't clean the streets and stuff. But then it's not only the South African black people that actually live in these areas.
But what is majority? Who is he?
Yeah, majority.
Who are the
but
majority?
Then the minority also plays a part in actually polluting and the whole pollution going on. No, let's be frank and let's all be fair. Yes, you have black people sitting in Josie. Mayfair doesn't have black people, man.
Yeah.
The amount of black people in Mayfair you can count with one hand. And then it's still dirty. What's the excuse for Mayfair and Fortsburg?
I mean, I see Mayfair, but here, let's look at Orania and let's look at our CBD. Mayfair aside, I'm talking about the Central Business District. I'm talking about where most of the business is happening, where most of the traveling is happening. Yes, when you compare it to Orania, because right now what we need is a full report on Orania, on how it looks like. Pictures, videos of them going in, and also stats on their socio-economic status, their environmental status, and in overall everything that is happening there that makes life easier. Can people live there? Or if it's white Afrikaners only, why can't black people live there? What are the reasons, right? Ms. Q Rams, our EFF is right to take them to court so that they can clarify this madness. Why they say there's democracy and that we are equal when they do the exact opposite. Something that we're speaking about right here. Orania is the trending topic for today. So just let me know what you think. Yes, I just see that Kat has put up, yes, this guy is the advocate of Orania. One thing about Penwell, the black pen, he'll tell you that black people need, to, like, they need to use ways of, how Orania is living so that we can improve our ways of life. Like, let us adopt their lifestyle. Let us adopt their culture.
They
heritage.
actually have their own flag. Because I'm watching this video here. Orania flag Joe. Orania has their own flag. They do not use the South African flag. And I'm like, what's happening here? Why do they even have their own flag?
Yeah.
You're not Lesotho, so you're not allowed to have a flag of your own country within a country.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, what?
There's so much. But now, obviously, we need to be speaking about how well we can be in our communities. Right now, joining us is Mrs. Jessica Fush, our wellness counselor right here on the Mind Basket. Right. So, because you are here, I see that, there was a phase when I was reading your name. So I just want you to correct me and tell me if I am pronouncing your name correct, Miss Jessica. And can you please confirm if you can hear me so that we can also hear you right here in the studio?
Yes, you're saying my name 100% correct. I can hear you loud and clear.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We just got audio from your side. So can you please help me to pronounce your word correctly? Is it Jessica Fuchs?
Jessica Fouchier, yes.
Jessica Fouché, right. Right now, we are going to be in a conversation with Jessica Fouché. She is a neurodiverse and was only diagnosed as an adult. Her husband and children are also neurodiverse. Studied industrial psychology at the University of Stellenbosch and did her honors on community and health psychology through UNISA. Further, she has completed a lot of courses around neurodiversity development and counseling. She's a specialist wellness counselor registered with the ASCHP. Special interest are neuropsychology, television series, folk, indie, blues, rap music, cat, and spiritual studies. We welcome you to the Vooka Breakfast Show. A very good morning once again to you. How are you doing this morning?
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited because I love any opportunity to talk about neurodiversity. I'm doing quite well. I'm excited to answer all of your questions and to share my knowledge with you.
Yes. So my name is Moketi Maimane, and you're going to be with Afriberry right here. We're going to be doing this interview and having a conversation with you, of course, with people who are watching from home. So to someone who is watching and they don't understand what is a neurodiversity, can you please take them through what is neurodiversity and what does it offer?
Yeah, sure. So neurodiversity is an umbrella term for all neurodevelopmental differences. So like autism, ADHD, all those buzzwords that we're all hearing a lot on social media, neurodiversity is the umbrella term for that. So it's also kind of like a social justice movement because we are against sort of the medical model that says it's a problem. It's an illness that needs to be treated and erased from society. So the neurodiversity model says that it's part of our identity. It's something that we're proud of. It's a community that we're proud of to be a part of. So yeah, that's neurodiversity in a nutshell.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. So here we hear that you were diagnosed as an adult. Can you please walk us through, before you were diagnosed and how were you diagnosed?
Yeah, so I went through school and university completely undiagnosed. Even when I had struggles at university, they still said, oh, it's anxiety or depression. They'll rather give it any other label other than what it really is. So I was only diagnosed when my son was 2 and I started seeing some differences in him. And I was like thinking, okay, because I studied psychology, but it's very little in our curriculum. So I did a lot of research and then I was diagnosed ADHD when I was 26. I'm now 31 and this year I was diagnosed autistic. So it's quite a long journey, especially for girls and women, especially for Black people, because they are often overlooked and misdiagnosed with all kinds of other things, simply because we don't fit the socially acceptable idea of a neurodiversity.
Hi, Jace. I hope you're feeling good. So I wanted to know because you were first diagnosed with ADHD and now you recently got diagnosed with autism. How has the balance between your two diagnoses been so far, and what role has it played in your daily routine?
Yeah, so I would say my struggle is mostly with the ADHD bits, the executive functioning and all of the emotional stuff that comes along with ADHD, and then concentration and focus. Autism, the diagnosis is just a little kind of like affirming, just to know, okay, these differences in how I relate socially are not because I'm weird or something's wrong with me. It's because my brain is wired differently in that way. So I think having both diagnoses is helpful to understand myself better, for people around me to understand. Because that's the thing. That's why I advocate for early intervention. From as young as 2 or 3, we can make diagnoses so that we don't get all of these alternative labels like naughty or stupid or depressed or anxious, so that we can have the right label so people around us can know how to help us and how to understand us.
So Jess, there are so many examples of neurodiverse conditions, and when you speak about social media, we hear that there's no noise that's being made and there's no awareness that is being made. Do you think that they are making relevant steps into making sure that people are aware of neurodiverse people?
I think it's starting. I think the advocacy that people have been doing the past 10 to 20 years is only now starting to pay off. Like my mother listens to the radio station RSG, and they are having a couple of shows on there. So I'm thinking, if we're reaching such conservative platforms, maybe we are getting there. But I think it's a slow climb because our country is conservative. It would rather think that children are problematic and would rather spank it out of them than think scientifically about it.
Yeah, I can attest to that when it comes to those slow steps. I mean, the station that you heard about, the small station that they're speaking about, the neurodiverse people and things like that. Also, the Vooka Breakfast Show. That's why we took this step to speak to people like you, because I can tell you that when you mention neurodiversity, in our townships, a lot of people will ask you, what is that, right? So I see here the example of neurodiverse for someone who doesn't understand and who is watching, just to give them a glimpse of the conversation that we are trying to draw here. So we have ASD, which is autism spectrum disorder. We have ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, and dyslexia and Tourette's syndrome. And now when we look into these examples of the neurodiverse conditions, what are the challenges have you dealt with, especially somebody who was diagnosed with one of them?
Yeah, so I didn't have as many challenges as a child, but I think your audience may want to see what should they look out for in their children, because that's also mainly who I work with is children. So you want to look out for your child either being the one that's really struggling at school, struggling to fit in, struggling academically, struggling emotionally. So you want to look at those. And then on the other end of the spectrum, you want to look at those young ones who are really outperforming everyone. They are perfectly fine. It's almost like they're the too good student. So I'm also always concerned about those, because what happens is you are masking and you are coping for now, because you realize you don't want to be like the ones that don't fit in and aren't making it academically. And then they burn out. After matric or in university, they hit the wall and they burn out. So we want to have a look for behavioral things. So if your child's teacher is saying that they are naughty, or they are not paying attention, or they have ants in their pants, or they are like daydreaming, or they are getting into physical fights at school. These are all the types of things we want to flag.
Yeah. So in terms of you knowing that, because sometimes in your stages of life, you find out some of, the diagnosis later. So I just want to ask that, is someone born with it, or they can develop it over time?
That's an excellent question. Thank you for asking that, because that's very important. It is hereditary. So you do inherit it from your parents. That's why early diagnosis is possible, because there are some signs that we know of from literally infancy. The only times that it would be something that you develop is if you've maybe had a severe brain injury, and then this is like a comorbid condition. or if you've maybe when you were born there was some oxygen deprivation, then autism can be a comorbid condition. There are some other things that like being a preemie, being born too early, if the mother was an older mother, those types of things are kind of the old school indicators that we should have it looked at, but 90% of it is hereditary, and we have quite a high rate of incidence in South Africa.
Hey, so you know what? At this moment, while you also teaching us about about the different conditions it has, I'm actually online and I'm like looking at the types of different conditions. It's a lot. Some of them are not. It's things that I've never even thought would actually be considered. A problem, because I see there's one that has to do with time blindness, and I'm like, okay, I never knew that, because besides that, what are the most common things or most common factors that a person can look out for to say that, okay, I may have a certain time blindness or mind blindness, or basically anything that has to do with my neurology? What are the signs that a parent can look out for when it comes to the kids, that, okay, you know what, I need to take my son, my daughter for a checkup in case they have autism, ADHD, mind blindness, or time blindness?
Yeah, your research skills are amazing, firstly, because mind blindness and time blindness are like one of the much lesser known things, and it's one of the ones I love to talk about. Okay, so let me talk through the ADHD, and then I'll talk through the autism, and then we'll see if there's time for some of the lesser known things. So for autism, there has to be social differences. So either your child is really not interested in playing with others, or if they are interested in playing with others, other children might experience them as strange, that type of thing. So, but there has to be a social difference. Then there has to be a sensory component. So maybe they're a picky eater, like they only eat certain things, or they won't eat certain things, or their clothes bug them. My daughter's always saying it hurts her clothes, even though it's the softest material. So that's a sensory component. And then there has to be a repetitive or restrictive component. So they are very interested in the things they are interested in. They only want to talk about Paw Patrol, or they only want to talk about their soccer team, but to an extent where they almost don't give another person a chance to talk about their interests. So it's very intense and repetitive. So that's the autistic side. And then autistic people have the mind blindness that you are talking about. So they struggle to put themselves in the shoes of other people. Almost the common belief used to be that people who are autistic are not able to empathize, or they don't have any empathy. But they do have empathy. It looks different. So sometimes I will look at an autistic person and wonder, are they a little bit of a narcissist? Because, they are so selfish. They are so like, my interests, my way of doing things, my routine, that type of thing. So that's the mind blindness. They really cannot put themselves in your shoes. They can't. Then with ADHD, we look at the common things like the concentration, the focus, the hyperactivity. Although for women, because women are often underdiagnosed, for women the hyperactivity is in the brain. So it's not necessarily that you can't sit still. It's that your brain is all over the place. Exactly. My teachers used to always say, such a pleasure to have in class, but she talks too much. So that's typical. That's typical ADHD girl. Yes, and then ADHD struggles with the time blindness. So time blindness is this thing where you either very late or very early, but you're almost never on time.
What?
Our country suffers from time blindness.
When you say that, we are laughing here because it kind of reminds us of somebody that we have here. And then I think actually everybody that works here, we suffer from time blindness actually, because we either too early or a bit late, but just in between, but it's never just at the right time. And then, so when you said that women who actually suffer from ADHD actually tend to like think a lot. So I wanted to know that if it also requires, if it's also the same to boys, because I'm referring to my son. He talks a lot. Half the time he doesn't even listen to anything that you say, and then he comes back out of nowhere. Just when you think he's done, he comes back again. Like he'll come back to you like every after 10 minutes and just ask you the same thing because it keeps zoning out of his head that he asks you that same thing. So I wanted to know that is that how we can actually also spot ADHD when it comes to our kids?
Yes, definitely. And the boys also, they can have that motor mouth thing, and they can have the inattention where it almost looks as if they are listening, but they're not hearing. It's not going in. It's when we will often say they don't have ears, or their ears are not working, or they are sitting on their ears. That's very typical. But we have to be sure that we understand the line, because there's some developmentally appropriate things, like kids do ask why questions a lot, or kids do go off on tangents while they're telling stories. But is it mostly like that? Is it very intensely like that? That's the line. That's a little difficult to determine.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Jess, for taking us through that, because there's a parent who is watching right now and they're detecting some of these behaviors, on their children, and they don't know what to do. But now, maybe someone is watching and they're experiencing the same thing that you're experiencing, and now they take their child for a diagnosis. Now they're diagnosed. So how is it, and how is it going to be treated then?
Okay, so diagnosis is the first step, and that can be a long process, especially if you have to go through the route. If you don't have private medical aid, that's a long process. But I'd like to touch on that later. Okay, so once you have diagnosis, I think the most important, science shows that the most important therapy is for the parents. If the parents can go and get help to understand their child better, and if they can have a space to let out the frustrations that they are feeling. So if they could go to a support group, or if they could see a counselor that specializes in neurodiversity, that's the number one treatment. Number two is for parents not to do homework with their children. That ruins the relationship. So if you could find your child a tutor or a homework center or something like that, so that you eliminate that point of conflict. Then for the child, it depends. It depends on their functioning and their need level. But typically, I'm pro-medication, so there might be some form of medication, even if that's natural, even if that's your preference. Often, children need occupational therapy, and then they can definitely benefit from neurodiversity affirming therapy. So for them to understand themselves better, for them to learn that I have a Ferrari brain with bicycle brakes. I have a superhero brain, but I have some kryptonite. Yeah.
Now, when is the right time to say, now I need to take my child to a doctor or a counselor?
Well, like I said, advocate for as early as 2 years old, but I think you might, even some pediatricians, with my son, they kept saying to me, let's wait until he's 7. Let's wait until he goes to school. Let's wait and see if he struggles. But neurodiversity affirming care says as early as possible. My goal would be for children to be screened, standardized, as early as possible. But it's never too late. That's the other side of it. You don't have to think, okay, we missed it at 2 or 3, or we missed the 11-year mark. It's never too late. So, but I would say if you are looking for someone in your area, if you can, when you Google, just make sure to say neurodiversity affirming, because we find a lot of doctors and professionals who are still in the stone age of neurodiversity.
Yeah. So now, as you mentioned that you're going to be going through other condition later. So I have one for you that I want you to help me debunk, right? So this one is called Tourette's, right?
Okay.
So is Tourette's real? I ask because that we have seen on social media, especially there's this other documentary, The Bailey, that's playing on TNT. You know, this girl has a text, you know, she say random things, and some of those things are vulgar words. So can you please take us through if it is real, and what do you know of Tourette's syndrome?
So Tourette's is definitely not my specialty, but I know enough to answer your question. It is real. It definitely is real. It's a tic disorder, and we know that it's real because we can also medicate it, and it can, improve. So it is a real condition. It's interesting that that a lot of people with Tourette's tend to say those kind of vulgar words or inappropriate things. I don't know. I don't know the science behind why the mind takes that. It's interesting, but that being said, I think a lot of people are faking it on TikTok because it is kind of like a buzz thing at the moment. And I think that's frustrating for the Tourette's community who really do have a struggle because they are very often ostracized from their community because they can be so inappropriate.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that. Because speaking of social media, when you say it's fake, we've always had this discussion here, and asking ourselves, how can this person say this? Because they say relevant things that we see on our everyday day life. Maybe I have a take about Cyril Ramaphosa. I say, I've buried Cyril Ramaphosa in my backyard. I'm like, how can you say that? And I will come and say, no, it's a syndrome that I have. And, I say things out of nowhere. But thank you so much for that. Now let's talk around the misconceptions, on the neurodiverse conditions. What are some of the misconceptions that you want to raise here about the neurodiverse people?
Especially to the neurotypical people. I just learned that.
I love your use of neurotypical. Yes. So I think people think if you are diagnosed neurodiverse, then you don't have a future. And that's not the truth. Your future might look different. Like I said, my husband is also diagnosed and he's a very successful engineer. But some other people might not reach that level of independence. But regardless, a diagnosis is not, what do I want to say? It's not a prison sentence, or it's not the end of the world. Your child will have a future. Maybe they won't leave the house at 18. Maybe they'll leave the house at 25. Maybe they'll study from home for a while. I think that's the biggest misconception, is that people think a neurodiverse person is incapable and will never reach independence. And that's the most important one to debunk, I think.
Yeah. So here on the Vooka Breakfast Show, we always focus on the positive things, and we know that if you do have some of the conditions, there are some benefits on having those conditions. Can you tell us about the benefits of the conditions that you have?
Yeah, so I love this bit also. You guys are asking all of my favorite questions. I'm so chuffed. Yes, so if you look at neurodiversity as a whole, I'll use this island story. If we send 10 people to an island and they have to kind of populate the island, they have to build structures and put infrastructure in place. If we send 10 people who think exactly the same way, that island will not develop. So neurodiverse people are needed for the world to develop in different ways. For example, autistic people can hyper-focus, it's called hyper-focus, on a specific, since it's their special interest, they can hyper-focus on something until they solve it. So I really think most scientists, most doctors, most people who've made breakthroughs were probably autistic in some way or another because they had to hyper-focus on this problem. If you think about maybe in the primal days, why would autism and ADHD have evolved to still be with us now? It's because it was beneficial at some point. it was beneficial that that autistic person thought, okay, this plant, let me figure out how I can use this plant in medicine or how many different uses this plant has. And then the ADHD strength, excuse me, is impulsivity. I think impulsivity can be a real strength. Impulsivity is what drives entrepreneurs. It's what drives innovation. It's what drives taking a chance to see if something will work. So I think, those are two of the most prominent superpowers that we come with.
Yeah. Great, great, great. So, can you share some of the successes, on when you attended, some of the counseling, went to see a specialist, and they have told you and went through with you some of the things that you can do that are outside of what people perceive you to become. So, share with us some of the success stories of going and meeting people with these conditions, and you get to hear what they have done. What are those some of success stories?
Yeah, I think I can share my own son's success story first because I was so personally involved in it, and I've seen, and everyone around us has seen what a difference early intervention has made in his life. So, like I said, the doctors just kept telling me kind of, yeah, there's something, but it's not, he doesn't have a strong autism profile, and we can't diagnose ADHD until 7. But I didn't accept it. And so I pushed and I pushed. And when he was 4 years old, we got the diagnosis. And at that point, he could only speak very little, excuse me. He could only speak very little, maybe 3-word sentences. And other children with autism might be completely non-speaking at that stage, but he could speak very little. He had constant meltdowns, so that's what people would think is a tantrum. He was just a very unhappy little boy, constantly angry and frustrated, and he couldn't communicate that to us well. And so when he was about 4, we started with occupational therapy, we started with medication, and he did some play therapy as well. And now he is 7, and he is a very regulated young man. He's not constantly having meltdowns. He is so emotionally attuned with himself, with other people around him. It's actually uncommon for an autistic boy to be this way. Most people don't believe me when I say that he's on the spectrum. They might still believe the ADHD because his body's very busy.
Yeah.
But so that's, I think, the best success story. And then also my daughter, she's 3, and we had her diagnosis, and the lady said to us that it's the first happy autistic girl that she'd evaluated because we were accommodating for her from birth. So this is what we want. We want happy autistic and ADHD people from as young as 3.
Ah, wow. Thank you so much for sharing that, Jess, because I know that when somebody hears this and they get to hear you speak of those success stories, they will believe that it is possible because we have spoken about the misinterpretation and the consequences of, misinterpreting someone who has these kind of conditions. But with that being said, thank you so much for taking your time and, talk with us right there with our audience on the Vooka Breakfast Show. So if anyone wants to reach out, to you and speak about, the challenges and the problems that they're having around neurodiversity in general, where can they find you? Yeah, Flourish Counseling is the website to visit, www.flourishcounseling, and the number to call just on is 079 099 009 699 0091. Mr. Jess, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Mrs. Jess, thank you so much again for having sorry. Thank you so much once again. Have a wonderful day ahead of you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The same to you.
Yes, that was Mrs. Jessica Fuchs right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show. If you have any questions and you also want to speak, about neurodiversity, the misconception, the misinterpretation that you have, because we know there are a lot of kids right here in the townships that have autism, that are diagnosed with ADHD. Well, they are not diagnosed; they are yet to be diagnosed. But you can learn by speaking with Miss Jess right there. You can also contact her. As I've said, the number is 079 699 0091. It's 079 699 091. And if you want to visit her website, it's www.flourish.council www.flourishcouncil.co.za www.flourishcouncil.co.za. Right. So now moving along, because we know that right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show, we promise. Yeah, so we do not cease to amaze you with the guests that we have. It is Wednesday, and Wednesdays are for laughter. Laughter, it is the best medicine right here. So I just want to take a 5 seconds break, and then when we come back, we're getting straight with Mr. Barry Hilton. He is on, and he is going to be in conversation with us right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show. So let us take a short break, and then when we come back, we get straight in conversation with Mr. Barry Hilton.
South Africa's queen of Afro Soul, Uthandiswa Mazwai, will be bringing you magic at 250 on Cedar Lifestyle Country House on the 27th of April. Now you definitely don't want to be left out.
Live music, delicious food, a saloon, and even a car wash. It's more than just a concept, it's a lifestyle experience.
Get your ticket for 700 rands right now or 800 at the gate. You want VIP treatment? It will cost you 1,500 rands with an inclusion of a Sunday buffet.
Vooka Breakfast Show is giving away 4 tickets worth 700 rands. Tune in, subscribe to the Vooka Breakfast Show on YouTube to stand a chance to win.
Book now at CompuTicket or Web Ticket, or call 081 521 5581.
Once again, you are watching the Vooka Breakfast Show. Your energetic start to the day, located in the heart of Johannesburg. So wait to Dobsonville. That is where we are streaming live. Before the break, I announced to you that we will be having Mr. Barry Hilton. This is a cool morning for us right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show. The world and the country's cousin, Mr. Barry Hilton, is here with us. Mr. Barry, good morning, and how are you this morning?
I am absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much. And I'm very honored that you want me on your show. Very cool.
Yeah, thank you.
Hold on, there we go. Yeah.
All right. While you're still fixing your cam, people can just, comment down below. If you want to ask Mr. Barry Hilton questions, all you need to do is to use the hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show. We are live on YouTube. We are also live on Facebook. Just comment down below. Ask questions that you need to ask, because Mr. Barry here has a great fan base and his material is always relevant. We know that this guy, whether he's in an advert for well-loved refreshment, and he is blazing subtles through the stage worldwide. So he is here with us. All you need to do, you can call us in on 060-493-3226. It's 060-493-3226. Mr. Barry, talk to us, man. How is life and how have you been in general?
I've been fantastic. Thank you very much. This is my 43rd year in comedy.
Yeah.
So, and I really, really love it. However, I've transitioned into public speaking now, and I do a very very serious but seriously funny talk on mental health and how humor helps you get over such problems, because I've been there. It's basically a story of my life. It's called My Life in 3D. My struggles with depression, dyslexia, and ADHD. But I'm still here.
Yeah. I mean, yes, we appreciate you being here, and we know that your comedy, your comedy has lived through quite some time right here, and we still enjoy your comedy. So, for someone who doesn't know you, man, you are an esteemed comedian, and you have also, last year we have found out that you were partnering with Intercare, using your voice and your personal experience to break mental health stigma. Leveraging your journey with mental health challenges, you aimed to dismantle the stigmas surrounding mental health and encourage public participation in this vital initiative. Can you please take us through that? Why do you think it is very important to raise such things in our community in general?
Well, if you think about, you've got asthma. You tell a friend, I've got asthma. They say, oh, go to the doctor, use this pump, this vent, it's fine. I've got cholesterol, use this. I got a bit of sugar, use this. Do that, do that, do that. But as soon as you say to somebody, I'm suffering with mental fatigue and I'm unsure about myself, and quite frankly, I feel like ending it all, and you have suicidal thoughts or whatever, you'll find that people just go, thanks very much, bye, and they leave you alone. Because people are almost like too scared to talk about mental health issues. But we don't realize how much there is out there. Mental health issues affects everybody, from teenagers to right up to the top. I had a breakdown 5 years ago, which made me start thinking about this. And I ended up in a clinic. And in one of the things that I was at there was a whole ward, one whole ward, dedicated for teenage girls. And that shocked me to my core. You think these poor girls, and I was asking them some questions. It's bullying. Are you too fat? You're ugly. Nobody likes you. Da, da, da. So it's a massive, massive problem. And I thought it was only basically for older folk, for the bullies like me, but it's not. Mental health issues start from school. And my whole talk is about stuff that's happened in my life and how I've used humor to find resilience to get through, because everybody has problems in their life. And strangely enough, everybody has the ability to have humor. When you are with your friends, you feel comfortable to discuss that. But past your circle of friends, you are scared to try any form of humor for fear of rejection. So basically, my talk is about, dude, there is a dark side of the moon, and as soon as we get Eskom to leave there, it might brighten up. So you use jokes and to make you feel happier.
So you've been in, the comedian space for quite some time, and you've had, of course, mental challenges. So walk us through on how you dealt with those challenges.
For a long time, I hid them away and I suppressed them, which was very, very bad. It started off when I couldn't sleep because and you think to yourself, what happens if I wake up tomorrow and they don't like me? What happens if my humor's not appreciated by this? What happens if that? What happens if so you end up worrying about the future, which is the only person that can change your future to a certain degree is yourself. So many, and then you end up in this spiral of depression that you just think you're not good enough. And before I carry on, I will tell you that people often say to me, wow, you Barry Hilton. I mean, you're like the godfather here. Well, how can you have depression? And I say two words, Robin Williams. Because we all know Robin Williams, arguably the greatest comic that ever lived, killed himself.
Mm-hmm.
He had everything. But he didn't have stability enough to keep himself alive. So he, for some obscure reason, we don't know why, but he chose to end his life. And you think, wow. So my journey, and I push this on to schools, and I push it on to corporate companies, and that there is help. There is help. What we need to do is we need to show people that it's okay to say, you can say to your friend, man, I'm really having a hard time. I need somebody to talk to. But because of stigma, we tend to keep it ourselves. And that's what happened to me. And eventually I had a breakdown, complete breakdown. Look, I joke about it now. I say I had a breakdown, but it serves me right for buying a Fiat. You know, but then it just happened. So, but that's the thing, and it's the I use humor as the what can I say? As the coping mechanism. But obviously, people, if there's anybody out there listening to us now that are really worrying about their personal welfare and their health, mental health, I urge you 100% to go and find somebody. Talk to your friend, talk to your mum, talk to somebody, because it's not shameful. It's very, very brave to say, hey, I am struggling, guys. Please help me. Yeah, so that's what it's about. So my talk is all about this very bad things that happened to me in my life and how I used humor as a tool every time to find resilience to come through. I'm sure you guys have a hard time. I'm sure, I mean, you know, you're radio jocks and people think, oh, these guys have got the easiest job in the flipping world. I bet you have sleepless nights thinking, well, what am I going to do tomorrow? How am I going to do this? Will the people still like me? Am I right? Give me a nod if you're right. If I'm right, yeah.
Yeah.
You're very much correct, actually.
Mental health is a very, very important thing out there that we all need to use. You know, and because of who I am, perhaps, maybe, and I'm able to do it, my default is comedy. My default is comedy. So I use humor to help myself. So my whole talk is about, hey, dudes, why don't you use humor? And I've actually written a course. I've written a course called Talk Funny. It's an online course that you can buy. It's very, very cost effective. And it teaches you how to write your own jokes, to handle your own problems. The guy said to me the other day, what do you think about taxis? I said, I don't know. Taxi drivers are pretty good salesmen. He said, why? I said, I saw a taxi for sale the other day. Big sign, taxi for sale. Flickers never used. Needs new hooter. So, because those are real things.
Yeah.
Those are real things, man. And so we rather just laugh about it, and that way we can handle it. You know, a policeman stopped me, said to me, I want a bribe. I said, good idea. Give me 500 rands, I'll leave you alone. You've got to do it. We live in a strange society, but I mean, I can basically work anywhere in the world, but I choose to work here in South Africa because I love it. So I still believe South Africa is the greatest place in the whole world. We have odd people on either side of the thing, you know, but I think the majority of people are wonderful here. And I mean, I've traveled all over the world. I really have. And I don't know if you've ever had the privilege to go overseas. If you go overseas and you try and talk to somebody like we do as South Africans in the street, they'll look at you like you're a mass murderer. But here you say, even the guy that's like sort of asking for money at the traffic light, you can say to him, how's it? And he goes, how's it? And you say, look, I've got no money. He goes like, okay, don't worry, maybe tomorrow. That shows how wonderful South African people are. Yes, the guy's struggling. Yes, but and you say to them, I honestly say, look, I've got no cash on me. Okay, no worries. See you soon. So you make a joke about it, you know, and you go forward and enjoy your life.
You know what? When it comes to the mental health part of people's life. I think, or like just like what you said, talking about it and being able to at least find your comfort zone where you can freely express your how can I call it? Parts of you that are imperfect, and being able to expose them as one of the greatest things. But then it comes with how do you deal with them when people basically turn your imperfections and make them a weapon against you?
Well, you can do a lot of self-help, but I would imagine you need to understand that we're not perfect. Nobody is perfect. So when somebody is talking bad about you, secretly they're saying, you know what, I wish I could do what you could do. You know, that's what they, I mean, if I had a rand for every time somebody told me I was useless, I'd be on a yacht somewhere in the Mediterranean, so, but it happens. It happens. And I think, can I just bring up your personal culture? We call it the black culture in South Africa. I've noticed a lot of my children's friends, with the new, where they all go together, and these kids come to my house and they whatever, and they talk. And I cornered the one guy the one day, and I said to him, "But what's wrong with you?" And he said to me, "Uncle Baz, I'm really battling and all this stuff." And I said to him, "Dude, well, why don't you speak to your dad about it?" And he said to me, "I can't, because when I speak to my father said, we are from this place. Boys do not cry. Grow up." Which is a terrible thing to say, because your child is reaching out, "Please, I need help." And imagine that, "Dad, I need help to talk about this." "Oh, shut up. Just man up." And that becomes, I think that's an ingrown part of our culture. Yeah. We just have to be, men don't cry, which is nonsense. Yeah. You should be able to cry. And I think men can cry. And if you cry for a reason, how can somebody diss you on that? It's stupid. So it's cool. We need to understand, and we need to go to kids and say to them, "Guys, it's okay that you can't spell properly. It's okay that you're not the best football player in the team. It's okay."
Yeah.
I mean, nobody is perfect. Look, I'm close to perfect. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? If I've got a fault, it's probably modesty.
Wow.
So mental health, I'm so glad we're talking about this now.
Yeah.
Because I have a very important message that I'm sharing with as many corporates and stuff I can do. And I address a lot of school teachers, because they say they have big problems in their class with the kids. And I don't know what it's like in your direct sort of area where you live, but I'm sure there's people out there. And too many people, they get mental health problems. What do? Let's have a drink.
Yeah.
That's the worst thing you could possibly do.
Yeah.
Yo, look, let's smoke some Zol. At least we'll laugh about it.
That's true, because we can attest to what you're saying, because right here in our townships, there are people who, hide things, from the society in general, because of, the cultural ways of how we grew up. We will even give, ourselves these big names that I come from the clan of the elephants, of the lions, and lions do not cry. And it's true what you're speaking about. And this comes to me asking you about your journey in public speaking, because you're speaking with corporate people. But now we have this problem that is being not, they're not paying attention to it. We have a lot of comedians who are going through a lot, and no one is speaking about it. So does
Not
your job...
comedians, singers. Look at what was HH a couple of years ago? He killed himself. What was his name? The Zimbabwean rapper.
Double HP.
Yeah. He was brilliant. I worked with him. Must have been 3 or 4 months before he did that. And he seemed cool, but he was obviously hiding his pain. And And then one day it got too much for him and said, look, I'm out. Boom, gone. What a waste. What a sadness, because he had this incredible talent, but he couldn't share his pain with anybody. How sad is that? Terrible.
Yeah. So now, your work, of raising awareness about mental health, does it now overflow and you speak with comedians in general? Because you are a comedian, you know how it feels to become in the space. You know the pressure that comes with becoming a comedian. Do you speak with other fellow comedians and make them feel comfortable with speaking about what they're going through?
Yes, I try, and it's not only comedians, anybody. I'll look at somebody and you can see, I'm not a psychologist, nowhere near it. But if you say to somebody, are you happy? And if they hesitate, then there's something wrong. If you say to me, Barry, are you happy? I'll say, yeah, because I'm at that level. But if you say, Barry, are you happy? And I go like, there's something wrong. You should be happy. You should understand that. So there's a lot of comedians, and I'm very blessed that I get a lot of requests from young comedians. Hey, they call me Uncle Baz. Hey, Uncle Baz, I've got this joke. Can you help me with it? And I go, yeah, but why don't you do it? I'm too scared. And I say to them, dude, if you don't face your fears and acknowledge that you're not this perfect person, you will never get better. So make it happen. Go out there and make it happen. And the sad part about it, because of we youngsters like yourself, you live in this world of instant gratification. And I think that compounds problems if you've got problems. Why does your friend will say to you, because there's bullies everywhere, your friend will say to you, have you still got that same phone? Oh no, man, I've got the latest phone. What are you, a loser? That's what happens in society.
Yeah.
And they bring you down. You should be strong enough to say, no. Do you like soccer?
Yeah, I'm a big fan. Very huge.
You know Mardo Sane?
Who?
You know that from, I forget, he's an African guy. He's a brilliant football player.
Mario Sane, yeah.
He drives a Mini, an old Mini, okay, about 10 years old. He's got like an iPhone 6 or something like that. He's earning in the region of, I don't know, 250,000 euros a week. And people say to him, why don't you drive a Rolls Royce? Why don't you drive this? And he says, actually, what I've done with my money, I've opened a school where I live. He gives a stipend to every person of his village. Gives them, I think, $100 a month. Every single person.
Yeah.
Now that is medicine, Paul, because he's got all this fame and massive thing, and it hasn't gone to his head, and he realizes people need help, not only financially, but imagine somebody of that stature opening a school because he can. Yes, I'm giving back to society, and I don't think enough people do that actually. This is mine. I want a Porsche. I want this. I want that. I want that. And then you put that pressure on other people, and then why can't I have it? Why can't I have it? Mental health creeps in. Boom, boom, And I'll be honest with you. There was at least 4 or 5 times in my life that I actually contemplated sort of ending it all. But I have a young child. I have 6 children, 7 with my nephew that's joined our clan. But I have a youngster, 15, and now you got to think to yourself: if I do that, it's my troubles will be over, but their troubles will only start and amplify. So it's a very important message we should set out, and you guys are a fantastic vehicle to pass that message along to your listeners. It's okay, guys. It is okay.
Yeah.
If you're not Superman, it's okay. Be cool, man. Have a laugh about it. That's what it's about. It's silly, isn't it?
Yeah.
I went to the doctor. He said to me, you've got asthma. I said, I want a second opinion. He said, okay, you've got bronchitis. I like
Yeah. Interesting.
How do you handle your pressure? Because I know you have serious pressure.
Yeah, yeah. We do, and it's people like you, who come in our platform and make us, feel comfortable with what we have. Because in this space, so much is happening. There's so much pressure that you need to always keep up with. Because as mentioned, that we live in a world and a society of instant gratification. We always want, the latest iPhone. We always want the latest, fashion brand that's on the block. And now I want to ask you, in terms of differentiating, because you turned professional in 1983, at the age of 26, right? So compared to your days back in the days and to now, the modern ways of living things, of how youngsters are living, and especially in the comedic space, do you think that there's a huge shift? Is it still the way as you were doing comedy, or it has changed totally?
It's massively changed. First of all, the type of material when I started, it was jokes. Two guys walking down the road and the one said. Then it transitioned into observational humor, then situational humor. Now it's sort of anybody goes there. The trouble with today, you get a young comic who does 5 minutes in front of his friends. And then he gets up and does an open mic night and sort of does okay. Then all of a sudden he walks around and says to people, I am a comedian. Seriously? God, when I started, you had to do 45 minutes. If I did a corporate, 45 minutes, boom. And here's the thing. If you go do that corporate the next year, the same corporate, they don't want to hear those last 45 minutes. They want to hear a new 45 minutes. So if you're a comedian out there, you think you're a comedian, you got 5 minutes, man, you're nothing. But the point, I'm not knocking these kids down. Work on it. You've got a skill. Work on the skill. Make yourself better.
Yeah.
People don't realize our pain, bro. How many people have said to you, as when you say, I'm a radio jock, that's my job, and they go, what? That's not a job.
A lot of people, man.
They're jealous.
Yeah.
Because it's like we can sit and do, but you are using your natural talents, which is a wonderful thing. Yeah. You have a feeling for it. So I applaud all young people, and there's some great young comics out there who are actually really working hard, and they will become huge. And that's what it's about. Hard work. What do they say? The universe doesn't give you what you want. It gives you what you need.
Yeah. Thank you so much for those words, man. And we have seen that in the space, a lot of young people, they go into comedy for wrong reasons. So what advice do you have for someone who is doing comedy for money?
I think they should be doing comedy for themselves, to get on stage and to understand the power of making people laugh. Money should be the secondary motivation. I remember once I was doing a gig at Carnival City. I got 4,200 people solid. It was sold out. And I heard about this young comedian in Durban, and I phoned him up. I said, listen, dude, can you get to Joburg? He says, why? I said, because I've got the show. I've got 4,200 people, and I've heard that you're pretty good. I want you to come up and do 15 minutes. Open my set for me. I'm in front of 4,200 people. You know what the guy said to me? How much am I getting paid? I said, dude, I'm giving you an opportunity to show your talent to 4,200 people. He said to me, no, it's unfair.
Wow.
You getting paid, why can't I get paid? I said, have a nice day, put the phone down. I've never heard of him again. So you've got to, you didn't become where you are. You're not sitting in that studio because you woke up last week and thought, I'm going to be a radio jock. You've worked. How many years has it taken you to get there? Plenty much. So for young kids, you've got to go out there, hard work, what do they say? That there's a story there. Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard.
Nice words.
That's why you guys are sitting where you are, because you work hard.
Yeah.
Besides, I've said that. I want to just tell the listeners now, I've said all these brilliant things about you because I got that 500 rands from you yesterday, and I really do appreciate it. Now, you guys are doing a great job. Well done. And just be cool out there, man. We lucky to be living in South Africa. It's the best place.
Into Mr. Baz.
Thank you for the amazing words. I noticed that you also, like this past month in March, you also had a comedy Makrotman with Tallest Mo, David Gau. So I wanted to know, how was it basically the celebration of what I would refer to as OG comics in South Africa?
OG comics are the guys that put in the work, man. They put in the work. OG's the original gangsters. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, they make it happen. Do you know how many shows I've done?
No.
Take a guess.
What, 10?
500.
500.
7,000.
Wow.
I'm counting from March, and I'm like 20. But obviously,
I've done
over the
7,000
years,
shows. David Carr's a great comic. People should go listen to him. He's an established, very good, very clever comedian. There's a lot of guys out there that are Umpo Pops. Top of the world. So if you want to be there, you have to start at the bottom. You have to be able to say, this is what I do. You've got to take the knocks. You've got to understand that you're learning, and ask advice from other comics. And if the other comics are comfortable with themselves, they'll help you. But if other comics refuse to help you, then they are insecure.
The afraid of competition.
But
absolutely.
Yeah, but
it's good.
But now when it comes, into going deep into the positive competition that they're trying to create for themselves, some, comedians, they will tell you that, no, man, when we were doing comedy down there, in that spot at the tavern, and then you're the one who, gets noticed and say, Mr. Berry, come work with us, and then you start making money. Some comedians, they feel like it's not necessary, to go back and pull the guys up and then bring them into the space that you've been introduced in. What are your ways when it comes to that? Do you think it's necessary to say, okay, since they've chosen me, guys, these are the steps that I've taken, and now I'm trying to bring you into the space that I am in. You are going to get booked and things like that. Some comedians, they feel like, you know what, nah, do it for yourself, man. You'll get noticed at some time.
Even the greatest footballers in the world practice the same basic drills every single day. Okay? So, I hope I've understood you correctly. I often go back to grassroots venues, just pop up and do 5 minutes. A, because it's fun for me, and B, because people at the venue go like, wow, I was there at this venue and Barry Hilton arrived. This venue must be great. These comics must be great. So you got to give back. You got to help oaks. You got to do it all the time. I often go to smaller clubs and I never charge. I just walk on stage and say, hey guys, give these kids applause. They're really cool. Make it happen, Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it did. Every second of what I've asked you, have answered it correctly.
I hate to hear you doing discos for bar mitzvahs and stuff like that soon now. So you got to go back to.
All right, because I also read that you were inspired by comedians like Richard Pryor and Billy Connolly. So, are those still your inspiration, or you have found the young ones on the block who'll be like, no, man, these ones, they remind me of who I used to be back in the day?
Billy Connolly was just somebody special. Richard Pryor was just, to me, he's the best comic that ever lived. I personally believe that.
Yeah.
Billy Connolly was unique. but there's a lot of brilliant young comedians out there. I mean, the world changes. Just because you're a comedian doesn't mean you're going to stay at the top for the rest of your life. You have to work at it. There's some brilliant young comics in South Africa that people should go out of their way to watch. Like I told you, Pops, he's very, very classy. There's an Afrikaans guy. What's his name? Skalk Bezuidenhout.
Yeah.
Exception.
Yeah.
Alfred, the guy from Cape Town, Alfred, I forget his flippant surname. I'm the worst with names. Mark Lottering and him just did a whole stunt together, and he did really, really well. But how will we get great comics if the new comics don't want to come in? And it's the job of the great comics, the established comics, to help the new guys come in.
Yeah.
But the guys who refuse to help the youngsters are insecure in their position.
Interesting to hear that. And I hope that the information that we have shared to anyone who was listening right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show, they have learned so much. And thank you with those profound ways, Mr. Barry Hilton, right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show.
Something very quickly?
Yeah.
I've had lots and lots and lots of interviews, okay? It is so refreshing to hear original, focused, thought-provoking questions from you two young people. You guys are doing a great job, and I applaud you. Well done, guys.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
So,
It
Mr.
means
Berry,
a lot,
before we close, right? I have a quick game with you. You just have to choose one comedian. I have a variety, names of comedian right here on my screen. So I'm going to read out names. You choose one, right? So
who's the best?
Yes.
Okay.
So the first one is Benny Mac or Richard Pryor.
Richard Pryor.
Eddie Murphy or Dave Chappelle.
Dave Chappelle.
Kevin Hart or Chris Rock.
Chris Rock.
Now, coming to local, Trevor Noah or Mark Lottering.
Trevor Noah. Come on, Trevor Noah is a genius.
Riyad Musa or Nick Rabonowitz.
Riyad.
Lastly, Celeste Ntuli or Tumi Morake.
Celeste.
Wonderful, Mr. Perry. So in conclusion, man, where can people find you? And because you've started public speaking, where they can contact you? Do you have an email? Do you have a website where they can go to?
I've got a website, barryhilton.com. Yeah, and the .com is for a website, not comedy. barryhilton.com. Thanks very much for having me on your show. And once again, I applaud you for giving me great questions. Well done.
Thank you,
Thank you very
Mr. Perry.
much.
Have a good day ahead of you.
Thank you. Bye-bye now.
Bye. That was the one and only David Barry Hilton, born on the 29th of January 1956. If you do not know who he is a South African stand-up comedian referred to by his middle name, Barry, aka The Cousin. He is also an actor, television personality, and a motivational speaker. After 6 years of initially working as an electrician, he tried his hand at comedy, turning professional in 1983 at the age of 26. Inspired by comedians Richard Pryor and Billy Connolly, Hilton's personal style can best be described as a combination of observational, satirical, and physical comedy. Hilton received the Comic Choice Lifetime Achiever Award. Renowned comedian, he's a Champions Intercare Mental Health Pledge campaign, and he is now working on becoming a public speaker. If you need any, words of encouragement, do make sure that you follow him and you visit the website that he just said. This is the Vooka Breakfast Show. That's all, but now that's not where we end everything, because we still have George Kudu, who is a comedian. He will also be joining us online and right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show. All you need to do is to comment down below, hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show. Tell us what you think. What are you doing? Did you enjoy the conversation with Barry? Because what he spoke about was mainly about mental health. He's been in the space for quite some long time. We know him. You know, some of you guys or some of us, we know him from the movie called Finding Lenny. He was a coach, and you know, when they went back to look for him and came back to coach these guys from the rural areas, it was so fun to watch how he instilled a positive mindset in him that anything is possible, guys. You gotta push. You have to do the hard work that you need to do. Right. Hector Takarani coming with a comment right there. A great interview, guys. Thank you so much, Mr. Hector. And I hope that you learned so much, because we also learned so much by being ourselves, by being the true versions of ourselves. There's no one who can take that away from you. So let us take a short break, and then when we come back, we're going to give you an update about Mr. George Kudu, who's also a comedy. He's going to share so much information right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show.
Musi Mist.
My name is Moketi Maimane.
Catch us every weekday morning, Monday to Friday, between 7 and 10.
Right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show, brought to you by the Blinko Network.
Always bringing you the best content possible.
Vooka Nati, wake up with us and kickstart your day on a great note.
This is your energetic start to the day.
South Africa's queen of Afro Soul, Uthandiswa Mazwai, will be bringing you magic at 250 on Cedar Lifestyle Country House on the 27th of April. Now, you definitely don't want to be left out.
Live music, delicious food, a saloon, and even a car wash. It's more than just a concept, it's a lifestyle experience.
Get your ticket for 700 rands right now or 800 at the gate. You want VIP treatment? It will cost you 1,500 rands with an inclusion of a Sunday buffet.
Vooka Breakfast Show is giving away 4 tickets worth 700 rands. Tune in, subscribe to the Vooka Breakfast Show on YouTube to stand a chance to win.
Book now at CompuTicket or Web Ticket, or call 081 521 5581.
Exciting moment is what we bring you right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show. 20 minutes till we hit the 10 o'clock, and when we started, we told you that we have a competition and you stand a chance to win a ticket to see Thandiswa Mazwai live on stage. So the question has came in through, and to whoever is watching right now, they stand a chance to win 4 of the tickets that we have that are worth 700 rands. Right? So if you're a fan of good music, Afro Soul, the queen of that is Thandiswa Mazwai. Do you want to go and see Thandiswa Mazwai? So the question is, and you stand a chance to win the ticket. The question is, where is Thandiswa Mazwai performing? Right? I'm going to repeat the question to you again. To you who is watching, wherever you are you listening? Are you watching? Or are you doing both at the same time? The question is, where is Thandiswa Mazwai performing on the 27th of April 2025? Do you think people are going to get this one correct?
Yeah, they should be able to get it correct. I mean, like, the answer is has always been there.
Yeah.
If they were listening properly and were listening attentively,
yeah,
and actually paid attention to what the answer is, yeah, and whether we literally just played the answer. So if they missed the answer, ow.
Yeah, guys. I mean, it's as simple as it is, because maybe you are watching, right? And while watching, you're like, no, I don't love, watching Thandiswa Mazwai. But yes, you have friends who love her music and would love to see her perform live, right? So we are running a competition right here, and you stand a chance to win the ticket. I'm going to repeat it again. Where is Thandiswa Mazwai performing on the 27th of April 2025? You stand a chance to win that ticket. It costs 700 rands. One ticket. One. It's only 700 rands.
And to our dear fans, to the people that will win the ticket, please note, we are only offering you a chance to win the ticket. Food and transportation is on you.
Yeah.
The only thing that we are doing as the Vooka Breakfast Show is giving you a chance to win yourself a ticket to go and watch Thandiswa Mazwai.
Yeah. And you are asking yourself, who is Thandiswa Mazwai? Thandiswa has performed all over the world at venues, including at the 2010 FIFA World Cup opening ceremony, the Apollo in New York, Womex, the Cannes in Film Festival in Midem, the Hackney Empire Africa Brazil Festival, the FESPACO Film Festival, the BBC World Music Awards, and many Mandela 46664 concerts. She has several noteworthy collaborations. Among other collaborations, she sang in Xhosa with the US musician Michelle Ndiokchelo on the album The World Has Made Me the Man of My Dreams in 2007. She was nominated for the Grammy in 2007. The Omnicord Real Book in 2023. At home in South Africa, Thandiswa Mazwai has collaborated with illustrious musicians including Hugh Masekela, Owestimela, the late Busi Mhlongo. Together with the rock band BLK-JKS, Thandiswa performed as a King Tar versus BLK-JKS at 2017 Afropunk Festival in Johannesburg. In July, she duetted with Paul Simon in Hyde Park, London. In his Graceland album's 25th anniversary concert, she sang the female vocals on Under African Skies, which was originally sung by Linda Rosand on the Graceland album. She is the ambassador of the 4666 and an ambassador for the Eastern Cape province in South Africa. In early May 2022, Mazwai was featured by Spotify on Freedom Sounds, From Kwaito to Amapiano documentary. You don't want to see Thandiswa performing live? What are you saying to me?
And people also know her from the famous group called Bongo Muffin.
Exactly.
If you know Bongo Muffin, then you know who Thandiswa Mazwai is. Also, TV, I then tattoo scoop was If you don't know, tell the tattoo scoop was
So,
or otherwise, so hambe ye gupe Harare.
Yeah. So, Hector has came through with an answer. And is the answer correct? I don't know.
We don't know.
We don't know if the answer is correct. We just want our producers to confirm with us that the answer that you wrote, Mr. Hector, is it correct? They are checking through, running through the machines, putting your answer in some machines to confirm that it is the correct answer.
We're going through algorithms.
So I have to confirm with them that the answer is correct. But since you have answered, we're going to give you, the answer once and for all. And after this one, we are going to create another questions because we can't say this answer is correct and then now you come and say yes, no. If Hector is correct, that means there are 3 tickets left, and the 3 tickets are for 3 questions. Right? So the first question has been asked. Where is Thandiswa Mazwai performing? And Hector said 250 on Cedar Lifestyle. So you wrote 3. You said 250 on Cedar, and then you came and say Lifestyle, and then you came back and say A. Right? Let me combine it for you just to make things. But Mr. Hector Takalani, your answer is correct. Congratulations to you, Mr. TK Hector Takalani. You've won yourself the ticket to see Thandiswa Mazwai performing live right there at the 250.
Sometimes I ask myself, Hector, maybe Hector also a guy and like when we got to do the competition, Hector like is always on like he's always there for the competitions. I'm just wondering, maybe it's probably sitting there at the desk and then the phone is down there by the table, like it's another one.
Like it shows, man. It shows because when you watch TV, there are always competition. You know, win a tak, win a tack shop. People, they stay for those things. Win a Kia, win a car. People apply. And we have people like Hector, man. Thank you so much. You have won yourself a ticket to see Thandiswa Mazwai performing live, brother. Performing live right there on 250 on Cedar Lifestyle Country House on the 27th of April. You just need to be there. And obviously you are subscribed and that makes you a full winner. Live music, delicious food, a salon and a car wash. This is more than just a concert, Mr. Hector. You're going to get a lifestyle experience. You've won yourself a ticket that is worth 700 Rand. At the gate, it's 800 Rand. You want a VIP treatment, it will cost you 1,500 Rand with an inclusion of Sunday buffet. Obviously, we gave away one ticket. That means 3 are left. Since Hector took that one, 3 tickets are left. Now we have another question. If you're watching, you stand a chance to win a free ticket. Hector, I know you and your friends, you like these music and lively concerts, man. Thandiswa Mazwai is one of the person that you love, right? So, just because you won, this question is not for you. Give it to your friends. Share the live. Tell them and say, hey, Mr. Maningi, Mr. Sbanban, there's a live, there's a competition, and you can only win if you have subscribed to the Vooka Breakfast Show. I can see people are joining in, guys. So, the question that you will get a chance and stand a chance to win a ticket to see Thandiswa Mazwai is name one of Thandiswa Mazwai album. If you are a music lover, Afropop, you follow Thandiswa Mazwai and you're watching this right now, you're coming across this. Name one of Thandiswa Mazwai album. If you get that correct, you're going to win one ticket to see her live performing. Remember, the ticket cost 700 Rands. And now we are left with 3. If one person gets this correct, 2 tickets will be left. So, name one of Thandiswa Mazwai album. Let's go. I just want to see if these people who are watching, let me just
actually fans. Because if you're a proper fan of Thandiswa Mazwai, then you definitely know at least 1, 2, or 3 albums of hers. So all you need to do is just basically name one album. Yeah, got Thandiswa Mazwai.
Yeah.
So you can win yourself a 700 Rand ticket. Don't be afraid, Sila. Just enter and we'll definitely choose the correct person with the correct answer.
As easy as it is, man. As easy as it is. I think there's a comment that just came in, but now the poll is on my way. Why is the poll on my way, guys? The poll is hiding answers here. We don't want bad names. People are answering. The poll is hiding my comment. I see the comments coming in. Can you please, guys, move the poll for me because I can't. Close poll. Okay, I've closed it. Wow.
How many people commented?
Wow.
You see the wow. Now I'm just wondering how many people commented.
Wow. Okay. So after Mr. Hector, we got Takalani. What am I saying, man? After Hector, we have Bohosi, right? And he answered the answer that Mr. Hector gave. But now, I asked another question that can win you a ticket. I asked, name one album of Thandiswa Mazwai. And then Bohosi Maselwa answered. And he said that was easy. So, Mr. Bukhosi, I just want my technicals and my producers to take your answer, put it in the machine, and confirm if your answer is correct. Right? And that was quick. They have done it. And all I can say to you, Mr. Bukhosi, is that your results are out. As we await, I'm getting the signal right there on my screen. And your answer, Mr. Bukhosi, is Zabalaza and Sankofa. Are those Thandiswa Mazwai album? And your answer is correct. Congratulations, Mr. Bukhosi Maselwa, for winning one of the tickets to see Thandiswa Mazwai performing live right there at 250 on Cedar Road Lifestyle Country House. Right, that ticket serves you to go inside and see Thandiswa. Congratulations, Mr. Bukhosi. Congratulations to all the winners, Hector and Mr. Bukhosi.
By the way, to Mr. Bukhosi, because we don't have your details, please kindly send us a WhatsApp text to 060-493-3226. That's 060-493-3226. So we can be able to issue out your ticket. Hector Skawara, we have your details. Hector, we have your details. We just need Mr. Bukhosi's details. Hector, we have your details. Mr. Bukhosi, please make sure you do contact us before the end of the day with your correct phone numbers, your correct email address. Emphasis on correct email address, correct phone numbers. We do not want to send you an email and then you say you didn't get anything because it bounced back.
Yeah, definitely. Get yourself that ticket, man, and enjoy the live performance by Thandiswa Mazwai. I'm feeling like we're going to give away all the tickets, because I'm seeing that people are coming in. But I just got a confirmation that the last 2 tickets are for tomorrow, Thursday. It is when we're going to be giving the last 2 tickets. So do make sure that you share the live and tell your friends that there is going to be a competition right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show. All you need to do is to subscribe to the Vooka Breakfast Show on YouTube and Facebook. You stand a chance to win the ticket to see Thandiswa Mazwai performing live on the Sunset Sunday sessions. Right? That is what the ticket gives you, an experience that you have never had. Right? So do make sure that you stay with us. You be with us 6 minutes. Yes. And if you want to purchase tickets, maybe you are going with your friend, you guys are a group of 10, 7. All you need to do is to go to CompuTickets and Web Tickets. That is where the tickets are available. You can get them 700 rands, 800 rands, and 1,500. That includes a buffet. Right? So to all our winners, Mr. Bukhosi and Mr. Hector, congratulations, guys. This was the Vooka Breakfast Show, and we hope that you stay tuned to us tomorrow again, same time, same place. It is going to be a wonderful Thursday morning as we bring you what the Vooka Breakfast Show promises to bring you, which is exciting and a daily dose of positivity. From me, Muketi Maimane, I would like to say sayonara. It was nice being with you on this wonderful Wednesday morning. Still raining, man, but the rain does not stop us from what we are doing. All you need to do is connect with us on all social media platforms. And to the winners, if you want to change your details, all you can do is to dial 060-493-3226. 060-493-3226. So my name is Vooka, my man, aka Max for maximum temperature, the son of Mother Nature. Generator. Sayonara. See you tomorrow. I love you. Take care of yourself.
Yes, and for me, Afriberry, also known as Miss Berry Blaze, but to the darker the berry, the sweeter than Tontoni. Mnandi mamnyama, mam tlopilik tika tikin but marloko famana meweta koma kahle. Isho ngwana mane.
Cheers.